everybody. Let's go. It's playoff time. Welcome into Gwynn and Chris, everybody. A manic Monday, a day to get ready, a day to kind of sit back and, I don't know, worry about everything. I think that's probably what all Padre fans are doing right now as we are on the eve of the 2025 postseason. Tomorrow afternoon, of course, at noon, the Padres and Cubs win Game 1 of the National League Wild Card playoffs. The Padres able to finish up with a sweep of the Diamondbacks over the weekend. And, for what it's worth, you get to the 90-win mark for the second year in a row. And so you feel good about that, I guess. But I would trade in 2 losses to the Diamondbacks for wins this coming Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm sure you would as well, Scrabe.
Of course.
Good to see you, sir. Matt Scrabe alongside Crisello here inside the Odyssey Palace Studios. Tony Gwynn Jr. is, of course, in Chicago. And joining us from Chicago will be Sam Levitt there, our pre- and post-game show host. Will be on the program here in about 35 minutes with a live report from the Windy City. If you're just tuned in, there's a little bit of news to share. Dylan Cease has been named, surprisingly, I think, to a lot of people, the Game 2 starter with Yu Darvish set for Game 3. We'll hear from Mike Schilt on that decision in just a little bit. I think all it means is that they just didn't think Michael King was right. They just didn't think he was ready. He wasn't right. He pitched 2 2/3 innings on Friday night. He threw 49 pitches and walked 2 or 3 guys and just didn't have good command. And, to me, that was the whole story all along. Either, Michael King was going to get 3 or 4 starts to see if he could get right for the postseason. And I don't feel, I think they don't feel that he's right. Otherwise, he would be the choice. But without King, you have to, roll the dice a little bit with Dylan Cease. It's not been a great year for Dylan. It's been especially bad on the road where he's been bombed pretty much all year long. I think he had 1 road win the whole season. And now you're going to ask him in Game 2 to go into Chicago and beat the Cubs, either to keep your season alive, depending on what happens tomorrow, or hopefully to help you advance. Now, I don't mind saving Darvish for Game 3, and I'll just say, here's my reasoning. I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback this, because I know you could have gone Darvish in Game 2. Although, as you'll hear Mike Schilt say, he wanted to make sure everybody had the proper rest. But I trust Darvish in these situations more than I trust Cease. I think most of you do as well. Now, it doesn't mean that Darvish is going to pitch great and Cease isn't. But based on what I saw last year from Dylan Cease, when the Padres came home with a 2-1 series lead, and they bumped him up a day, remember? And it was a big choice, big decision. Bumped him up, right? And I think the final was 8-0. The Dodgers won. Now, it really didn't matter. It's Cease only giving up 1 run, because I don't know that the Padres are ever going to score again the way it was going. But
unfortunately,
I didn't think Cease, rose to the occasion. So I'm going to feel more comfortable with Cease in Game 2, hopefully trying to clinch, than I would sending him out here in a winner-take-all. Darvish is my guy for a winner-take-all. And now the risk you take is that you may not even get to a winner-take-all if you lose the first 2 games. And I will say this, something certainly to keep in mind, although it doesn't necessarily mean anything for this particular series. They have had the wild card round now, 2 out of 3, since 2022. Where one team hosts all 3 games, except for the fact in 10 of the 12 wild card series that have been played so far, there has been no 3rd game. 10 of the 12 have been 2-game sweeps. Winner of the first game has won the second game. And in the 2 that weren't sweeps, one was the Padres beating the Mets, you may recall, in 3 games.
Yes.
But in all 12 series, the winner of Game 1 has advanced. So, you can't put everything on tomorrow, but you kind of have to put everything on tomorrow. right? You just want to win it. And to that end, you got to, get your usual thing from Pavetta. Matthew Boyd is going to pitch for the Cubs. Have they announced Game 2 yet?
I checked earlier, but I checked
last half hour or so ago, and I hadn't seen them announce Game 2. They can go a lot of different ways in Game 2, 3, and 4, the Cubs, because I'm pretty sure Cade Horton would have been the choice. But the Rookie of the Year, or the likely Rookie of the Year in the National League, is not going to pitch in this series. So we'll see what the Cubs do. But Matthew Boyd, he's shut down the Padres in April. It was a long time ago. But this guy has been tough all year, and especially on left-handed hitters.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a Game 2 yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have announced it yet. So
someone's saying they think it's Imanaga, but I'm on ESPN.com, and I don't see any.
I
see the Padres pictures, but
I think it'll be Imanaga too, but that doesn't mean they've announced that it's going to be him.
Yeah.
I would go with a left-hander if I'm the Cubs. I mean, after all, the Padres figure to start 5 left-handed bats tomorrow. If they stick with the lineup that we've been seeing, I mean, they're going to have Arise. They're going to have Merrill. They're going to have 3 in a row, potentially, in the middle to bottom part of the order now, with Gavin Sheets, O'Hearn, and Cronenworth. You got 5 left-handed hitters. You've got to throw a left-handed pitcher at that, I would think. And to me, the pressure is going to really be squarely on the shoulders of 2 guys for the Padres. I mean, you cannot look, if Ryan O'Hearn keeps hitting lefties the way he has, great. And he has hit them, really well. So let's hope that holds up. But if not, and you got to think that your left-handed bats are going to be neutralized, it's going to come down to Fernando and Manny. And these 2 guys are going to have to get the job done. That's it.
I like what Fernando's done lately, though.
Well, look, he seems to be warming to the task.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that grand slam on Friday night, I was sitting at a spot in the stadium where it was just a perfect view, and you could just see his confidence coming back with each home run he's hit here in the last week.
And look, he should be confident going into the playoffs. After all, in 13 postseason games, that's a fair amount.
It is a fair amount.
Fernando has a 1,328 OPS. That is better than what
We're aiming for the big cake, man.
That's better than what Aaron Judge did this season. Now, he did it over a whole season. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make a comparison.
Hey, if you want to be good at a certain point, the playoffs are it.
Yeah, but 1,328 is an astronomical number for an OPS. So you got to hope Fernando in 13 games, 6 home runs, and a 1,328 OPS. So you hope he's Fernando. On the other side, Manny has not been great. He has not been great in the playoffs. In 25 games with the Padres in postseason, Manny Machado's batting average, .216. He does have 7 home runs, but only a .713 OPS. That's a little low for what we're going to need to win this series.
No, that's low. That's low for a guy like him.
And in his career, Manny's postseason batting average is .215 with a .684 OPS.
That's not great.
It doesn't mean a lot. I mean, he gets 2 home runs in game 1. It's going to change real fast.
Yeah. Talk about what have you done for me lately, really.
It is. And it's going to come down to those 2 guys. It just is. We already went over this the other day, Scrabe. When the Padres score 4 runs or more, they win 77% of the time. When they don't, they win 29%. And when you project that number on last year's playoffs, teams that scored less than 4 runs went 8-30. You got to get 4 runs at least.
That seems to be the
line of demarcation.
Yes, exactly.
You said the same thing.
Wow, we went at the same time. I wasn't sure if that was the right phrase.
Me neither. We've been spending way too much time together.
Yes, we have.
But look, 4 runs, you got to find a way to get there. And I think Manny and Fernando are going to have to get you there. Whatever we can get from Luis, hopefully he's on base with a couple of hits. He's been swinging it great.
Yeah, I need to see. I think he could be considered part of the guys who need to perform, because
of course
he needs to get on base so they can get these 2-3-run homers.
Yeah, and to that end, I mean, we can't sit back and wait for the 3-run homer that we never hit this year.
No.
So we'll see. Move some runners along, make productive outs, get some key hits. And that's what playoff baseball is to me, and that's what it has always been. And I will give you one more thing on playoff baseball. And isn't it weird? Everybody always talks about defense and pitching wins in the playoffs. I've always felt it's the exact opposite, because everybody has good pitching or they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
That's true.
And most teams play pretty good defense. As a matter of fact, if you want to look at the defensive runs saved category there, how about me being a little analytical?
DRS?
DRS, the Cubs are second in baseball. They don't figure to give you much. So you're going to have to come through on the few chances you have. And that means hitting with runners in scoring position. And again, last year, 43 playoff games were played. I mentioned this on Friday, but it's certainly worth revisiting. In 43 playoff games last year, all the games, teams that won hit 279 with runners in scoring position. That's really good. Teams that lost hit 139. You've got to get some hits with runners in scoring position, and you don't get as many chances at that in the playoffs.
You know what I like?
That's it.
I like from this group is that Annie Halbern's article last week about some of the guys who have playoff experience, they all are understanding that the playoffs are a whole different animal. And I really think that these guys are going to turn it on when the bright lights.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
I didn't want to say turn on twice.
What I was going to also tell you is that the lights probably aren't going to turn on at all.
You're probably
played
right.
At 2:00 at Wrigley Field tomorrow.
I think they might have them on a little bit just in case.
They might put them on a little later in the game. You're right, Scray, but I don't think the
bright so you mean that Major League Baseball put the Padres in midday so the bright lights actually wouldn't turn on?
No bright lights for the Padres, as we assumed last week, much to your chagrin. The Yankees and Red Sox got the prime time slot. So that is the way that went.
Can't wait for it to be bored out of my mind.
We get day baseball. All right, we are underway. We got many things to discuss. I told you Sam Levitt is out. He's in Chi-Town. We'll get the latest from Wrigley Field. Any more, maybe the latest on Elias Diaz. And
Mike Schill talked about him.
Yep. Right, I know, but I want to hear even further updates from Sammy. By the way, I had the strangest thought, and I know we're a little past the break, but the Padres are hinting that they might go with a third catcher because they're a little concerned about the health of Elias Diaz. Could you imagine being in the 11th inning with a tie score and 2 runners on, and Luis Campusano came to the plate? He's in Chicago,
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. I mean, imagine after everything, if a game came down to that.
Hey, he's been incredible in AAA.
I know.
He was an all-star for AAA. Remember when you said he was going to be an all-star?
I was. I said he was going to be an all-star this year.
In AAA.
I didn't say in AAA.
If he could figure it out for a series, he could be immortalized in Padres history.
How about just figuring it out for one at bat? That might be what we need. All right. When do the Padres actually have to name their 26? Tomorrow morning? I think it is tomorrow morning. Yeah. So we'll wait. I had originally thought that maybe Dylan Cease wouldn't even be on it because they wouldn't need him in the first round.
I was pretty sure he wasn't going to be on it.
Well, he's on it, and he's going to pitch game 2. He's starting game 2.
I think this is I'll explain it on the other side, but I don't think it's as scary as maybe I once thought.
Well, look, we're going through every negative scenario. All of us are, and we'll try to calm some of your fears when we come back. Gwynn and Chris underway. Happy Monday.
Hello, my friends. It's Woodsy. Did you know your water quality affects everything?
Feels like the calm before the storm, you know? Everybody just kind of bring it down a little. Tomorrow, a little after 12 o'clock. How many people are feeling a little bout of the sniffles right about now?
I know I am.
You know what I mean? Scratchy throat.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Get a little, you and I don't have to do that because we're going to be watching the game before the show. But a lot of people are going to have to do that tomorrow or decide what to do.
This has been a major point for Padres fans.
Sure.
And I feel for you Padres fans, but I don't know that there's anything that anyone can control.
Here's the really good thing about this now, because everybody works at the computer, at the desk, and the whole thing. Hopefully, you can just stream it, right? Get an ABC feed somehow. And then if you're sitting at your computer, maybe you can at least watch it up in the, you know what I mean?
No, I know what you do.
You can pretend like you're working.
You go onto Odyssey and you listen to
or you can certainly listen to the game. Sure. Yeah. You can listen. Of course, we'll have the call. But anyway, I just feel a lot of people right now are leaving work a little early today. Yeah, just not quite feeling it, sir.
Yeah, my throat is hurting.
Not quite feeling it.
I was listening to Braden coming down here, and he was like, do something for the kids and let them watch this game. If you're a cool teacher, I'm not saying to drop everything to watch the game, but have it on in the background with no sound. Just let them watch it. Be cool.
Yeah, good luck. I had a teacher when I was little, Mr. Mock.
Oh, that's a
Mr.
terrible
Mock.
teacher name.
I believe it was Mauch. Mr. Mock was from Ohio. And luckily, the Reds were in the World Series a couple of years there when I was younger.
He was a Reds guy?
And he was a Reds guy, and so he put the games on. But you had to root for the Reds or you couldn't come in and watch. It was his rule.
That's kind of crazy.
No, I rooted for the Reds so I could watch the game. World Series. Got to do what you got to do.
Why doesn't Todd Gloria just come out and say, hey, the next 3 days are holidays here
with all due respect, does Todd Gloria know we're in the playoffs? Has anybody alerted him yet?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
He usually, politicians usually give those can't wait to watch my team in the playoffs.
Right. Maybe Todd Gloria is trying to get a hold of the mayor of Chicago
so they can make a bet
something on it.
Yeah.
That might be part of it. All right. Mike Schilt with the big news of the day asked about what he was thinking for a Game 2 starter. We know Nick Pavetta's starting Game 1. Until a little while ago, we didn't know who was the Game 2 starter. Now we do, and we're surprised.
Which starter will you trust in Game 2?
Dylan Cease is going to start Game 2.
And the decision behind that?
Multiple decisions, multiple things. I mean, Dylan's been good, throwing the ball more consistently lately. You kind of it gives. If indeed there's a Game 3, and Darvish is in play, gives him an extra day rest. Dylan's rested. He's throwing the ball well here. He's throwing the ball well against his club, and he's Dylan Cease. He's got a big arm, and he's the guy that we feel is best suited for Game 2.
And that would mean Michael will be available in the bullpen.
That'd be accurate.
What is that? Given the experience that he has in that role in the past, what can that do to help you guys?
It's another weapon. It's another weapon that's there. Again, we've got bullpen guys that clearly have gotten us here that we trust, and Michael will be used appropriately relative to the guys that have the experience and have done well in that role. And the spot will present itself potentially this series for Michael to show up.
All right, there he is, Michael Schilt. Michael King has pitched in relief before in his career.
Yeah, that was the whole thing about why he came from the Yankees to the Padres.
I get it, but, he's a starter, and I wouldn't expect to see Michael King. Let's put it this way. If we see Michael King in games 1 or 2, it's probably because things are not going well.
Here, I have another thought.
Okay.
Or
they could just bring him in in the 6th inning to get a couple of outs right at the end of an inning type of
Michael
thing.
King, I think what's going to happen is they're going to let Dylan Cease go one time through the lineup. Michael King comes in the 4th inning, hopefully, and then they go from there. Because I cannot trust, with what we've seen all season long, I cannot trust that Dylan Cease will get through the lineup for a second time in the playoffs.
So you're thinking if even it goes 9 up, 9 down,
get him out of there, put Michael King in there. Yeah.
Well, it's something
but I also have said Mike Schilt needs to manage with a little bit more of a gut feel. So if he does keep him in there, I can't be mad. But at the same time, numbers tell me Dylan Cease is not great the second time through the lineup. Make him pitch through the first time through. Have Michael King come in. Maybe he goes through another part of the lineup. Then you go 7, 8, 9 with their relievers.
I think, look, everybody's worried about everybody right now. It's like people are saying, well, I have a lot of confidence in, Pivetta, but after that, I'm pretty worried about it. I don't know. The only guy I'm not really worried about is Mason Miller, and I just don't know that we can use him for 9 innings in both games.
I know, right?
We're just gonna have to figure out a way to get through it, and these guys are gonna have to pitch well. That's it. I mean, they're all capable of pitching well. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's definitely.
These guys can pitch. They've been struggling. It hasn't been working lately for the likes of Cease and Darvish and King, and we need them. So, all right, here's more from Mike Schilt as he talks a little bit about the fact that, and this is true.
This is right up your alley.
Well, it is. Look, the Padres had one of their best home records ever, 52 wins. I think the only time they ever did better was 1998. But they were under 500 on the road. They also only won one series on the road against a team that finished with a winning record, and that was Milwaukee back in June. And that's what they have to do this week. They have to win the series in Chicago. Mike Schilt on the team at home versus road.
Can you point to anything in particular when you look at the discrepancy in the way your team has played on the road versus, the home record you guys have?
I don't think it's probably a lot of different things, but, in general terms, we have a great home environment that we play in. So we enjoy playing at home. I don't really read too much into the road. I mean, it's not the fact that we've been so good at home creates more differential for the road record. It's like the road record's atrocious. So we've been more than competitive on the road last year, this year. So, it's really more about, how well we played at home, but we've clearly also been able to take care of business on the road as well.
Go to Bruce on the left. Hey, Mike. Because you've known that you're going to play the Cubs for a while, what type of advantage does it give you and the Cubs as well to prepare over this last week or 10 days?
Yeah, we've had our feet in two different places, right? Finishing the season, which we did strongly. I was really pleased how we competed at the end of the season. Really pleased how we competed all year, quite frankly. But we were able to keep our focus and attention on taking care of business at the end of the season, but also internally more for the staff. When the players, just go play. Now it's time to go prepare, but more from a front office, scouting, field staff. We've been able to spend some, real time over the last 5 days or so to look at it. It's a team we're very familiar with, team I'm got some history with, familiar with, and seen a lot of these guys over the last several years. So we've taken advantage of the time knowing who we're going to play.
All right, let's go back to the home road thing, because he said that they've competed well on the road. They have, against bad teams. But they're not playing a bad team, and that's got to be a concern. It is to me. You play 12 series this year against teams that finished with a winning record on the road. You lost 2 to the Dodgers on the road. You lost on the road to Cincy. You lost at Chicago to the Cubs. You lost at Philadelphia the series. You lost the Mets series. You also lost Seattle, Yankees, Toronto, and you lost Detroit and even Houston. That's 12 road series. You won 1. I'm hoping you can win 2, right? It shouldn't mean anything because they're going to just roll out there and play, but that doesn't bode well, I must say. I hate to say.
No, that does not bode well.
So,
he did a really good job of,
yes,
because yes, on face value, when you look at the numbers, it doesn't look that bad. But the fact that you point out and have pointed out all season long that they just don't beat good teams on the road does make me take pause, Chris.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I have to give you the numbers as they are. All right, we'll see if Sammy Levitt can make you feel any better. He's coming off a thrilling victory Saturday night. Or was it Friday night? I think it was Friday night.
Who are we talking? Sammy
Levitt. He led Arizona State to a comeback victory over TCU.
Yes. His arm is really good.
Brilliant performance by Sam Levitt on Friday night for the Sun Devils. Now we've sent him to Chicago to get us ready for the Padres and the Cubs. We'll go to Wrigley when we come back on Gwynn and Chris.
I'm with the slickest fielding infielder in all of baseball, in my opinion. Jose Iglesias with us. Jose, you had a big homer to cut that lead to 1, and it just seemed like not only did it rejuvenize the dugout, but if that was the first time all game, the fans seemed like they were energized. Just talk about looking for that first pitch.
Hey, we're facing a good pitcher. We're facing a good team. Extremely happy to contribute. Extremely happy to be part of this great win tonight. That says a lot about this team. We never give up. We continue to play hard. Offense, defense, pitching. It was a great win all around. I was able to contribute.
Jose, you came in to this organization. They had just reached the postseason last year. You were part of a team that kind of had its own run last year. Talk about what it meant to come in here and bring, what you bring to the ball club and help this team get here.
I mean, it's I love my job. I love the days I don't play, I just make sure Bogey, Manny, Daddy, the whole night guys are ready to go and positive through it. That's part of my job, and extremely happy to do that. I love the guys. Manny is, he welcomed me with his arm open. Daddy, Bogey, we have a special relationship on and off the field. Great group. We'll continue to grow. We'll continue to stick together. And we're just living one day at a time, and we're very blessed for this opportunity.
Talk about that role, because I think you exemplify it as well as anybody in that role. How important is it for you to really maximize that, not only when you're on the field, but as you said, when you're not on the field, and you gotta be these guys' cheerleader a little bit?
I mean, it's not an easy one. You don't play often, and but you know what? Extremely happy to put this uniform on a daily basis and be ready when Mikey call my name. I'm going to give my 100%, and it shows tonight. It's been showing all year that I play with a lot of passion. I'm extremely humble about this opportunity that the Padres are bringing to me this year.
I got to talk a little bit about your defense, man. I mean, you've always been the slickest, but even as you've gotten older, it doesn't seem like anything's changed. I mean, you made some terrific plays here tonight. I know the one didn't go our way, but, I mean, just talk about how important that part of your game is.
I mean, I play in the middle. You better play D. And you know what? I thank to my dad. He's somewhere watching this moment. And ay, coño! So he took me to the field since I was a little kid, and just taking grounders all day long. And you know what? This is for him too. He worked so hard for me to do what I do. And extremely humble, and thank you for the compliment. So let's go Padres. God bless you all.
I'm with the slickest fielding infielder in all of baseball, in my opinion. Jose Iglesias with us. Jose, you had a big homer to cut that lead to 1, and it just seemed like not only did it rejuvenize the dugout, but if that was the first time all game, the fans seemed like they were energized. Just talk about looking for that first pitch.
Hey, we're facing a good pitcher. We're facing a good team. Extremely happy to contribute. Extremely happy to be part of this great win tonight. That says a lot about this team. We never give up. We continue to play hard. Offense, defense, pitching. It was a great win all around. I was able to contribute.
Jose, you came in to this organization. They had just reached the postseason last year. You were part of a team that kind of had its own run last year. Talk about what it meant to come in here and bring, what you bring to the ball club and help this team get here.
I mean, it's I love my job. I love the days I don't play, I just make sure Bogey, Manny, Daddy, the whole night guys are ready to go and positive through it. That's part of my job, and extremely happy to do that. I love the guys. Manny is, he welcomed me with his arm open. Daddy, Bogey, we have a special relationship on and off the field. Great group. We'll continue to grow. We'll continue to stick together. And we're just living one day at a time, and we're very blessed for this opportunity.
Talk about that role, because I think you exemplify it as well as anybody in that role. How important is it for you to really maximize that, not only when you're on the field, but as you said, when you're not on the field, and you gotta be these guys' cheerleader a little bit?
I mean, it's not an easy one. You don't play often, and but you know what? Extremely happy to put this uniform on a daily basis and be ready when Mikey call my name. I'm going to give my 100%, and it shows tonight. It's been showing all year that I play with a lot of passion. I'm extremely humble about this opportunity that the Padres are bringing to me this year.
I got to talk a little bit about your defense, man. I mean, you've always been the slickest, but even as you've gotten older, it doesn't seem like anything's changed. I mean, you made some terrific plays here tonight. I know the one didn't go our way, but, I mean, just talk about how important that part of your game is.
I mean, I play in the middle. You better play D. And you know what? I thank to my dad. He's somewhere watching this moment. And ay, coño! So he took me to the field since I was a little kid, and just taking grounders all day long. And you know what? This is for him too. He worked so hard for me to do what I do, and extremely humble, and thank you for the compliment. So let's go Padres. God bless you all.
I'm with the slickest fielding infielder in all of baseball, in my opinion. Jose Iglesias with us. Jose, you had a big homer to cut that lead to 1, and it just seemed like not only did it rejuvenize the dugout, but if that was the first time all game, the fans seemed like they were energized. Just talk about looking for that first pitch.
Hey, we're facing a good pitcher. We're facing a good team. Extremely happy to contribute. Extremely happy to be part of this great win tonight. That says a lot about this team.
Eve. Tomorrow, of course, Padres Cubs, game 1 of the NL Wild Card Series. Nick Pivetta, left-hander Matthew Boyd. A couple of former American leaguers going head-to-head here. Pivetta came over from the Red Sox, Boyd from the Tigers. And it is 76 degrees and sunny in the Windy City today. And I don't even think there's much wind. Joining us from Wrigley Field, our guy on the scene, Sam Levitt. Pre-game, post-game, all-around good guy.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Scraby. How are you? You are absolutely right. I am a good guy, but it is also
a good guy.
It's also a stunningly gorgeous day in Chicago. And I tell you, I walked around Lake Michigan today. I mean, it's like summertime here. So if you were thinking this was going to be a series where everybody's bundled up in autumn and we get that classic Chicago weather, it is not going to be that way. Beautiful day, supposed to be very warm tomorrow and nice weather tomorrow. So this is going to have a summertime type feel. It's a gorgeous day here at Wrigley Field.
Very happy to hear that. Sam Levitt joining us live from Chicago. He's presented by David P. Shapiro. Criminal defense attorneys. If you're facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro and his team, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. All right, Sam, big news of the day. Dylan Cease going to get the nod in game 2. Your thoughts, and maybe if you can add a little bit more to what Mike Schultz said. Scraby and I are kind of surmising that, going with Cease kind of just means that Michael King, they felt, wasn't quite right, wasn't quite ready, at least not yet, to pitch this week. I mean, because I think King would have been the choice otherwise.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, although, like some others, I heard some of the rumblings about maybe Cease being the game 2 starter after Pivetta. I do wonder, to your point, how much it's about Michael King and what they've seen from him so far. Michael King has been okay, but certainly has not been as sharp as we're used to seeing, which makes a lot of sense. He just hasn't pitched much at all since late May. So I do think that probably plays a factor. I also do think if the Padres wanted one of those guys available out of the bullpen, King might be the best one suited for it because he's done it before, and maybe they just weren't comfortable with a guy like Dylan Cease in that role. I also think there are numbers to point to with Cease, really 2 buckets of them that, maybe make a lot of sense. Number one, I know he hasn't been perfect as of late, but he's been better. So you can look at his end of the season and take that away. And the other part of it is that he has been very good against the Cubs the last couple of years. He had a pretty solid start against them, although he gave up 7 hits. That was all the way back in April. I don't know how much stock you want to put into that, but his 2 starts against them last year, both early in the season, were terrific, including 7 shutout innings, 12 strikeouts here in Chicago in early May of last year. So I think it probably all plays a role into it. His success against the Cubs, what he's looked like as of late. Again, not dominant, but probably a little bit better than what he was for a while there. And obviously, I think also you do have to factor in the Michael King part of it. And maybe the Padres just weren't ready or confident enough in where King is right now. We know when Michael King is healthy and on, he's about as good as anybody in the National League. We know that. But we haven't seen that for Michael King. And we saw some, even in that start in Chicago, even in the start he made over the weekend, there have just been moments for King where the command eludes him, and that's dangerous in a series like this. And you know, a couple of walks and a home run, you could find yourself down 3-0 early, and guess what? In a best of 3 series, that's a really, really, really big deal. So I understand it. I also understand some of the concern considering Cease's season and considering what he did in the postseason last year. I mean, the last memory of Dylan Cease was him going on 3 days rest against LA, and it didn't go well. And that was, you know, one of the things that started not to go well for the Padres in that series. So all in all, I know a long answer there. But am I a little surprised? Yes, but I think when you think about it, there probably was a case to be made for Cease over King, and the Padres are going to roll with that.
Sam Levitt is in Chicago. I want to throw this in for Scraby because this is Scraby's big thing. And then after this, let's go back and start talking about game 1 because that's going to actually be before Cease pitches. But Cease, 606, the OPS against him first time through the order. Goes all the way up to 802 the second time through the order. Could the Padres in game 2 use Cease for the first 3 innings and piggyback with Michael King? Do you think they would risk something like that?
Totally. Or in a more general sense, just have a really quick hook on him. Look, I don't think anybody's going to have a super long leash in these games. And Michael King, you could see him at some point wherever he's needed, right? If he's going to be available out of the bullpen. So I think quick hook is probably the way to put it. Could they deploy a strategy like that? Let's see, get a few innings, 1 trip through the lineup, and then go to somebody like Michael King. Sure. I also wonder how much game 1, what happens in game 1 will influence what they do in game 2. If it's a game where you have a little bit of wiggle room or if it's a game where you're facing elimination. So we shall see. I think it goes without saying that the Padres are going to need Pivetta to be really good. They're going to need Cease to be effective. Again, I just keep going back to this is a good Cubs offense, and you don't want to fall behind. We've seen all regular season long when the Padres don't get good starting pitching and fall behind. It has not been a recipe for success. So any way you slice it, they got to get good pitching, and we'll see if they can do that. But I do think, you know, having a quick hook on Cease and maybe pairing him with King in sort of a piggyback could certainly be something they look into.
Sammy, all right, let's go to game 1 because I already mentioned this to Scraby. They've had 12 wild card series since they went to the 2 out of 3 format in 2022. The winner of game 1 has won all 12 series. The winner of game 1 has actually swept 10 of the 12 series. The only 2 that went to a third game, one was, of course, the Padres and Mets a few years ago, and the other one was last year when the Mets won game 3 over the Brewers. So I'm kind of thinking of putting all my eggs in the basket tomorrow. You know, I mean, I know it's not going to be the series, but the recent history suggests that maybe it'll just all come down to tomorrow.
Yeah, look, it's a weird thing. I mean, not that it's a huge sample size, but 12 series, I think, is enough to look into that a little bit at least. I mean, that is kind of weird because, again, it's just a 3-game series. So you would imagine even by this point, there would be a team that won game 1 where, you know, the other team won 2 games in a row. It's baseball, for goodness sake. So that's certainly possible. So it is interesting. Will this year be the year where that changes? I don't know. I do think game one is incredibly important for the Padres because they're throwing Nick Pivetta, and he has been by far and away their best, most consistent, most dominant starting pitcher all season long. He has shown no signs of slowing down. You have no reason to believe he is not going to deliver tomorrow. I mean, he is locked in. He's got the personality to pitch in the postseason for sure, with his intensity, with how he goes about things. So it's a big game. I think for the Padres, game one is so important, not only because of the history of game one, but also because they've got their guy in the mound. And then after that, you've got question marks with your rotation. I mean, we don't know what you're going to get from Dylan Cease. We don't know really what you're going to get from Yu Darvish, who has been up and down since he came back. And there have been times where Yu has looked great. There have been times where Yu really hasn't been very sharp. And same goes for Michael King. The one sure thing, just from an expectation standpoint, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, postseason can be tricky, but the one sure thing is Nick Pivetta, and he has been that guy all year. So look, I think game one's incredibly important because you have him going. I also think game one from an offensive standpoint is really important. Look, we've seen it all year. The Padres are not necessarily a team built to play from behind. If you're the Padres tomorrow, you want to punch this team early. Punch them early and play to your recipe, especially in a short series. Get a lead. Pavetta's good. Give it to your high leverage guys and go get a game one win. I think playing from behind and getting into a slugfest with this Cubs lineup, the Cubs can score. They really can. And, I don't want to see the Padres in that kind of game tomorrow.
Talking to Sammy Lev, he's in Chicago at Wrigley Field, one of the most historic places in baseball. So that's got to be pretty cool for you, Sam. I want to talk about Randy Vasquez, though. Why do the Padres not seemingly trust him? Now, we don't know if he's going to be on the roster. We don't know if he's going to be used in relief. But why not go Randy Vasquez game two when he's clearly, to me, been the most consistent or more consistent pitcher between Dylan Cease and Randy Vasquez?
Yes, great. Well, number one, I think he's going to be on the roster. I mean,
Okay.
they've made that pretty clear already that they will carry all five of their starters on the roster. I would anticipate Randy's going to be on the roster.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason I think you saw him come out of the bullpen to throw an inning on Sunday, was to get his feet a little bit wet in that role. So I think Randy's going to have more of a traditional bullpen role, and obviously somebody who can give you length if you need it and could factor in, whether it's the wild card series or deeper into the postseason. Scraby, when you really think about how the Padres normally operate on these kinds of things and how a Mike Schultz and AJ Preller-led ball club typically operates on these kinds of things, this is an organization and a team that really relies on their veteran players and experience. And the bottom line is they've got, obviously, Pivetta is an obvious one, but they've got Dylan Cease, who has a big-time track record. They've got Yu Darvish, who's got a big-time track record. They've got Michael King, who was terrific last year. I just think there was no world in which Randy was going to get a start over those guys. And that's not Randy's fault. I also think with Randy Vasquez, yes, Scraby, he's been very effective, and I think he's filled an important role on this team. And I think Randy Vasquez, assuming that the Padres could lose a couple of guys in this rotation in the offseason, I think Randy Vasquez probably shows up at spring training next year and has, I don't know if I'd say a lock on a spot for the rotation, but you're thinking he's probably going to be in this rotation. I don't know that he's going to show up battling per se for a spot, because I think he's been that effective, and I think he's proved he can be a back-end starter, no doubt about it. But I just don't see a world where they would have done that. And also with Randy, while he's been good, we know traffic cop deals with a ton of base traffic, and that is just a really dangerous way to live against a good team in the postseason. And I don't know that there was any world where they were going to elect for that over throwing a guy like Dylan Cease, who has the ceiling of giving you an absolutely dominant outing, or Yu Darvish, take your pick of guys. So I understand what you're saying about Vasquez, but I don't see a world where that was where that was going to happen.
All right, next time just deliver that answer with less snark in it, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the snark was necessary, to be honest with you.
I know, I'm just seeing it a lot out there, and I understand why you wouldn't start Randy Vasquez, because
He wasn't starting.
I know that. I'm
wasn't.
just saying I understand why. why I was asking the question, because I was curious what Sam would say.
You got it. Sam Levitt is there in Chicago, brought to us by David P. Shapiro, attorneys. And okay, Sam, let's take a look real quick. Be manager Mike Schilt. Go through all the analytics with me. You got to put together a lineup tomorrow. And I'm looking at Matthew Boyd. And Matthew Boyd's had a really good season. We know that. He was better in the first half than the second half. But this is a guy who all season long, the whole year, gave up only 2 home runs to left-handed hitters.
Mhm.
He gave up a 576 OPS to left-handed hitters. That is sparkling. Are the Padres going to test him with 5 hitters in the lineup tomorrow, batting from the left side?
Yeah, it's a good question, Chris. I assume the only things you could do, I guess there are 2 things, right? And I'm sure you're thinking right along with me, because you can definitely pencil in, I think, 7 out of the 9 spots in this lineup.
Yeah.
With a pretty good degree of certainty, with kind of 100% certainty. The 2 spots that would be interesting would be, would you toy with the idea of a Bryce Johnson start, who's a switch hitter in left field, as a right-handed batter against him? Although I don't see that happening. I think Sheets will start in left. But yes, to your point, that's another lefty-lefty matchup in your lineup. And then could you see a Jose Iglesias DH instead of Orion O'Hearn? Again, you are getting a righty lefty matchup, Iglesias against Boyd. Now, the thing you're giving up in those 2 scenarios with either sitting Sheets or O'Hearn is you are just giving up a ton of power for a couple of at-bats. Now, you go get a righty out of the bullpen, and you know those guys are coming in to hit. I don't see it. I would think Sheets is going to start. I would think O'Hearn is going to start. I think they're going to ride these lefty-lefty matchups, I think. But, Chris, to your point, would there be an argument to, start a Johnson, start an Iglesias if you are really fixated on the lefty-righty matchup against Boyd? There's an argument to it, but what do I anticipate? I anticipate, based on what we've seen and how they feel about those guys and their power potential, I would think that, yes, you're just going to see a ton of lefties in this lineup. It's part of the reason why losing Ramon Laureano, especially for this series, was so crushing, because this is a guy who, number 1, is a really good player, and number 2, rips up lefties. And now you've got another lefty in that lineup. Unless Chris, I find it hard to believe that you're going to have Bryce Johnson out there instead of Gavin Sheets.
No, I don't think they will.
Maybe the Iglesias thing is a little bit more likely.
I think so.
I don't know.
I think here's what I'm thinking.
Maybe that's a little bit more likely, but I find it hard to believe that you'd have Johnson in left field starting game 1 of a playoff series.
First thing, I think O'Hearn has to be in there. He's been great against lefties, and I got to trust
that
he
he's
keeps
hot.
it going. Right,
he's hot. Well, that's the thing too. Now you could, again, we're just working through what the reasonings would be. I think Sheets and O'Hearn are going to be in there, but if you were going to sit one, you could make the argument that Sheets has not swung the bat well lately at all, and O'Hearn ended the season red hot. I mean, he's been terrific. So forget lefty. He's got to play.
Iglesias played some left field this year. Also, Ryan O'Hearn can play left field. It's just something to think about.
I will tell you. You can even tell on the field in the afternoon how windy it is. Even on the field, it's pretty windy. So you can only imagine what it does to the baseballs up top. And I'm looking at the flags right now. Yeah, they're blowing around, and I don't have a great answer for it with Sheets in left field. He's been better out there since the start of the year, but there's a good chance he's going to be out there, and you better hope that he just can handle it. He's improved, but obviously this is a very tough place to play the outfield.
This is crazy, but I'm really honestly thinking of Iglesias in left field. I just trust him.
I'll tell you that's not going to happen.
You don't think so? He played it this year.
You think they're going to throw him out there in the playoffs?
I don't think in game 1 of a postseason series they're sticking Iglesias.
Iglesias can field anywhere.
That was
I'm with you. I think he would do fine, but I don't think that's going to happen. My prediction is that O'Hearn and Sheets will be in the lineup. Would I be shocked if Iglesias got in there? No, I would not. I think they're going to go with the lefty matchups, and we'll see how it goes.
I think
But,
Iglesias would be great as a catcher. Why not? Why not?
All right. If he hadn't played there, I wouldn't have
Sam's
brought
like, he's
if
a
he hadn't
jokester.
played there this year, I wouldn't have brought it up. But he did play there this year.
Did,
All right.
How many games did he actually play? I'm being serious.
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
he was out there. Sam, you're great. One thing that Scraby wants you to look out for tomorrow, his prediction that Luis Campusano, as the third catcher, comes off the bench and gets the game-winning hit in the 11th inning.
Yeah,
You
you know
heard it
what?
here
Hey,
first.
you never know.
You
No,
heard it here
no
first.
ghost runner. No ghost runner. So look, they did leave the door open today to the possibility of carrying 3 catchers. Campy is here. He took batting practice. So look, he wouldn't
you
be here if
imagine?
there wasn't a possibility that he could make this roster. Elise Diaz was out there too. He went through a little bit of a workout, then went inside. I don't have more information on that. But we shall see. That's going to be interesting when the roster comes out tomorrow for sure.
Could you imagine if Campusano's only hit of the
Oh, it would be
season
the storyline of storylines.
wins the
Yeah.
game?
He would be
the
etched in
playoffs?
Padres lore forever.
And his first hit of the
Oh,
season
man.
is a postseason game-winning hit.
Yeah, he's 0 for 21 this year.
Yeah, I got Iglesias in left field for 2 innings this year. So let's maybe
Well, hey,
scrap
you
that
play,
idea.
You play a long extra inning game. You never know where people could go. So
Let's
it is-
scrap the
hey, it is
idea.
it is something to think about with these playoff games. We forget what long extra inning games are like, and you
Yeah.
can certainly get one.
That's true.
All right, Sammy,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Sam.
much, man. You're the guy, and I'm so glad you're there. And enjoy the games, have fun, and
All right, guys.
we'll talk about a win tomorrow.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. See
There
ya.
he is,
See ya,
Sammy
Sam.
Levitt. He thought he was going to get out of there scot-free. I kept him the entire segment.
I know you did keep him there the entire
I love Sammy.
segment.
I love Sammy. He is the
Me
guy.
too. Oh, I need to take Sam off the screen. That's what he's telling me.
He took a walk
here.
along Lake
That's
Michigan
what he's
today.
telling
So
me.
funny. So I took a little walk along Lake Michigan today. Attaboy, Sam.
He actually does take
finding
advantage of stuff
I
like
know.
that.
He's
I would
finding all
sit
the
in my room.
angles. He's probably going to go out and get deep dish pizza tonight, and I'm kind of jealous of that. All right, hour
You
number 2,
Chicago
Gwynn and
pizza
Chris.
people.
Still ahead. We haven't even touched on yesterday in the NFL. We'll get to some of that. And Daily Gambit. Stick around. our guy, Sam Levitt in Chicago, getting us the latest Padres and Cubs. Game 1 tomorrow at noon. Dylan Cease will then start Game 2, also at noon, but not tomorrow. That game will be Wednesday. And to that end, join all of us, Ben and Woods, the Braden Soprenin Show, and our Gwynn and Chris Show for a postseason watch party. It's going to take place at Park 101 in Carlsbad, and that's Wednesday to watch Game 2 between San Diego and Chicago. Park 101 is a bi-level sports bar with a rooftop deck and huge screens. There will be North County's best barbecue. I like the sound of that. Craft cocktails, and we will give away autographed baseballs.
Nice.
Are you autographing a bunch of baseballs? That's nice of you.
No, not me.
Those will be in demand.
No, those are the ones that people will get and they'll throw
Those are
away.
in demand.
It's the players.
I see. It's all presented by Estrella Jalisco Light Mexican Lager. Join us this Wednesday at Park 101. It's at 3040 Carlsbad Boulevard, right there in the Carlsbad Village. Wednesday for Game 2. Tomorrow you all are on your own. But then we'll join you all Wednesday for the clincher. Or at least we hope.
Let's hope.
All right. We're going to get into, this hour, we will have our good, bad, and ugly from Week 4 of the NFL. Week 4 does conclude tonight with a pair of Monday night games. The first one, be a hot time tonight in Miami where the Dolphins and Jets will battle in a battle of winless teams.
I don't know why you're so down on your team. They just took the Bills last week to the end.
Saints did the same yesterday.
Okay, well then why are you
out.
so mad at your team? They haven't won a game, yes, but they haven't looked as bad as you make them out to be.
All right. They started 4:15. After you stomach that for an hour, you can switch over at 5:15 for what should be a little better game between Cincinnati and Denver. That is the game we are going to carry here on 97.3. So Scraby and I will be on till about 5:10.
Yes.
And then we'll get you out to Denver for the game between the Broncos and the Bengals. We'll recap everything that happened yesterday, including, I need a quick comment from you, Scraby, on your defensive coordinator threatening the life of another human being after the game yesterday.
I love how you phrase this. You always talk about how the media turns and twists things. Liam Cohen was the one who approached Robert Saleh.
I said, okay, so I approach you. You're then allowed to threaten my life?
Liam Cohen started all of this.
We did? Didn't
Liam
Robert
Cohen.
Saleh make all the comments last week in the paper that Liam Cohen and the Jags were cheaters, and anybody
he never
connected
said cheaters.
to Sean McVay were cheaters?
Will you stop going down this road, because you're conveniently forgetting that many times in the press conference Robert Saleh said it's not illegal what they're doing. They're actually really, really good at it. So
is it okay? Okay, let's leave that. But is it okay if somebody says to you, keep my name out of your mouth with an expletive thrown in?
Yeah.
Is it then okay to flat out threaten to end the person's life, as Robert Saleh did?
I don't think he said life.
You don't?
I saw the exchange. Okay. It was very hard to hear.
Okay.
But I will go to the comments right now and see if
I
he threatened
read
a life.
where Robert Saleh.
Oh, you read, so you don't know for sure. You're just saying these
no,
things.
People
over there.
who John Boyd it said that Robert Saleh
He said he will bleep your world up. That is not threatening anybody's life, Chris. You are painting this into a corner.
That is the first sentence he said. He said 2 more sentences after that.
Okay, well, Chris is really loving this story because his team's so terrible.
Oh, that has absolutely nothing to do with it at all. All right, let's go to our picks for the games and stuff that's going on in the daily game. There isn't a lot tonight, so let's see what we got.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Duh, winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Sorry, I'm reading this transcript that came out 4 hours ago that I have not read before. Because all the clips showed me was that he said, I'll bleep your world up.
He did say that, but he went on to say a couple of things that were a little more threatening than that even.
I don't even care. This is Liam Cohen's fault.
Okay,
This
fine.
really is. If Liam Cohen wasn't such a little baby about it, then he had to stop the coach on going off the field, even though Robert Saleh was giving them praise for how good they are at something.
I think you got to
no, there's no.
I think you got to
no
fine
punishment.
a guy for threatening somebody's life.
No. Liam Cohen could have avoided all of this by not starting it after he won the game. Act like you've been there before, sir.
Gotcha.
Act like you've been there before.
Been there before.
Exactly.
He hasn't been there
yeah,
before.
he hasn't been there, so he's going to be a little child about it. Isn't this the same guy who said, I'm not going to be your head coach unless you fire someone? Sounds like a really good guy, Chris.
I know.
Really good.
You're doing what a lot of people do. Instead of actually addressing what I'm talking about, you're trying to just shift it to something else. That's okay.
I did address what you said. I did address what you said. I don't care.
It's a very common way to react when you're losing an argument.
No, Chris, you see, Chris is really good at twisting and turning things. I said at the beginning, I don't care that he said this. It doesn't matter to me. It's a football field.
All right, you don't care.
Yeah,
Fine.
I do.
You don't care. That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know. I said, what do you think about your coach threatening the life of another human being? Your answer is you don't care.
It would have been nice if you would have told me before the show that there was more that came out, but Chris also does this where he leads me into a place where he doesn't let me know what he wants to talk about.
Surprise.
Yeah, I am a little ticked off. And by the way, now that I'm ticked off,
yes,
the question that you embarrassed me over, people were actually kind of mad at you because you were acting like I was an idiot.
Oh, we're going back to Friday.
Yes, because you brought this upon yourself, Liam Cohen.
Do you really want to go back to your question on Friday?
I don't even have it anymore.
Well, I know
because I deleted it.
I know what it was.
You're going to make up something.
I am not.
Go ahead. Go ahead with the Daily Gambit. You've attacked the only person who's in this room with you, so
wow.
Have fun.
Pretty taking it pretty hard. That
and our Jags fan on the chat is rubbing it in, which is fine because the 49ers lost. I understand that.
I didn't even mention that part.
They did. They lost.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I didn't mention that. Anyway.
Even after I was so nice about his Dolphins team. It's crazy.
I don't know why. All right. Tomorrow morning, the first game of the playoffs, Tigers at Cleveland. Interesting how Cleveland tracked down the Tigers to win the division, but now the two teams play for real in Cleveland. But Tariq Skubel's on the mound for the Tigers. They're favored by 1.5. Scraby.
The Tigers are?
Tigers are favored at Cleveland with Skubel on the mound.
I mean, they just did this, and Skubel lost.
Okay.
But it's the playoffs, and I'll pick Skubel.
Taking Skubel. I'll take Cleveland because Skubel just lost. Padres and Cubs, 7 runs is all they're putting up there for the over-under. 7 runs. Somebody's got to get the 4 to win. I hope that's the Padres. I'm going to say over.
I mean, that would be a 4-3 game.
4-3 would at least get you
a tie.
A push. What do you got? I'll take over. I don't feel great about it, though.
I'm going to go over 2.
Both going over there. Pavetta or Matthew Boyd, who pitches longer into the game? Who records more outs, as it were?
Let's go with Pavetta. I got to go with Pavetta. He's my guy. He's our guy.
You kind of got to go with Pavetta here.
He's our guy.
I don't know that the Cubs have as good a bullpen to go to, though. So I'll say Boyd. I say they stick with him until we punish him.
Okay.
Jets, Miami tonight. Somehow the odds makers feel the two teams can combine for 44.5 points.
Jets and Miami, 44
Over,
and a
under.
half.
That's going to be way under with these two teams. By the way, do you know how many turnovers the Dolphins have forced this year?
I'm going to say 0.
Do you know how many the Jets have forced this year?
I'm going to say 0.
There you go. This is
going to be an offensive game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm saying under. You're going to go over?
I'm going to go over.
Okay. Denver minus 7.5 over the Bengals tonight.
Denver. Minus 7.5.
Bengals
Jake Browning did not look great last week against the Vikings.
They just were a turnover machine last
7.5 is a lot, though.
Okay.
And I don't think that Bo Nix is playing that well.
He hasn't yet.
I'm going to go with the Bengals plus 7.5.
I'm going to go with... I'll take the Bengals, too. I think that's a good bet. Nix versus Browning. Who throws for more yardage here? Nix versus Browning. I'll go with Nix because Sean Payton keeps telling me he's on the verge of a breakthrough, but not
How
feeling
many
it.
weeks can you say that in a row?
I know. And, Browning has Jamar Chase. I mean, all he does is get the ball out there.
Yeah, I got to go with Nix, too.
You're going with Nix also, though.
Yeah.
All right. Scraby and I will try to kiss and make up. We're back.
I don't
with
want
more.
anything to do with
You don't want to do that.
Nope.
Gwynn and Chris, we got our good, bad, and the ugly.
Sorry.
And we'll get to that in just a moment, or in a little bit. But more Tony Gwynn Jr. hopefully will be joining us from Chicago. He was at the workout today. So we're hoping to hear from him as Gwynn and Chris rolls on.
AJ, this season started off amazingly well, and it kind of had to tread water there in the middle part of the season. You go out, you make the moves to improve this ball club. Is this part of what you envisioned when you went out and made those moves?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we played great ball to start the season. Hopefully we start the year and end the year playing our best ball of the year. And yeah, I think the deadline, we needed to round the club out. So we thought we had a team that could get to this point. Probably, knew we needed some reinforcements. Our baseball ops team did a great job. I think seeing Freddie get the big hit tonight was fun to watch. I think it was all part of the puzzle, honestly, just rounding out the team.
I mean, throughout the course of the season, different things have popped up in terms of what you guys needed to add or what you needed to improve. Talk about this coaching staff, because they seem to pull a lot of things out of guys that hadn't reached the potential that we've seen them reach this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Gavin Sheets that comes here with the opportunity, talking to Schulte, Victor, Mike McCoy's done an unbelievable job with Gavin. You see guys like, at the end of the day, you look at the bullpen piece of David Morgan coming up through the organization, coming right into the mix in the big leagues. Schulte every day. It's every day is to talk about what baseball excellence looks like. It's a teaching class. The group is like, it's a thankless job. They're here at noon every day. They're the last guys to leave. It's a huge part of our success as our coaching staff. And when you can give them talented players and then see those guys achieve and overachieve, that's a testament to the work the staff does every day.
Probably one of the moves that doesn't get talked about enough is you bring Nick Pivetta in kind of last minute. You had to get creative. Just talk about that signing and how big it was for this ball club.
Yeah, it's kind of fitting he's on the mound today in a clinching game because he's been that guy all year long. I think he was a guy throughout the offseason kind of monitoring his market. And, with Joe's injury, Musgrove being out, we knew we were a little short on starting pitching side. And, we got to February and, a guy like Pavetta's still out there who our R&D teams talked about for the last few years is a guy that we thought we could take to a different level. And he's become here and been unbelievable, been the ace of the staff. It's great to see him out there.
Can we talk about Manny Machado? I mean, you got to see him reach some career highs this year. This was your first real big signing you brought here, and now for the first time in 19 years, this team is going to back-to-back playoff appearances. This has got to be kind of all coming together. Obviously, there's a big prize at the end that you want to get to, but this has got to feel right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can really go around the room and talk about, thought process and where we're at with trades, free agent signings, but obviously bringing Manny here to San Diego, you're bringing a superstar in the prime of his career in a city where kind of people were used to those superstars going out the other way. You've seen it your whole life. To do it where Manny came in, he was kind of that first piece, that foundational piece. We talked about in Havana Harry's and Coral Gables when we were kind of doing our recruiting pitch, myself and Yaine and Manny, this being the norm. And at that time it was a little bit more of a dream and a vision, but Manny bought in, he wanted to be a part of it. everybody knows he's the guy here, and he's the one that kind of started this whole thing, and to see him year in, year out.
Sounds like Manny has intercepted AJ.
He has indeed. Last one. AJ, you have introduced a portion of Padre fans to some of the best years of Padre baseball. And as I said, I know there's an ultimate goal, but how do you feel? You've been kind of the one spearheading on it. I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but I think you got to on this one.
I mean, I know Jesse and you talk about these being the golden years. That was the idea. And I think when Peter Ron sat down with our group in 2016, it was, hey, when we get to 2020, we want to be good year in, year out this decade. It's just fun to bring a lot of joy to the fans of San Diego. We have such a good organization, such a good group. It's great to be a part of it. Got some steps to do now. It's like getting in is the start. Now it's all about trying to win that World Series ring and go put a flag here in San Diego.
Dry up. Enjoy yourself, brother. AJ, this season started off amazingly well, and it kind of had to tread water there in the middle part of the season. You go out, you make the moves to improve this ball club. Is this part of what you envisioned when you went out and made those moves?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we played great ball to start the season. Hopefully we start the year, end the year playing our best ball of the year. And yeah, I think the deadline, we need to round the club out. So we thought we had a team that could get to this point. Probably, knew we needed some reinforcements. Our baseball ops team did a great job. I think seeing Freddie get the big hit tonight was fun to watch. I think it was all part of the puzzle, honestly, just rounding out the team.
I mean, throughout the course of the season, different things have popped up in terms of what you guys needed to add or what you needed to improve. Talk about this coaching staff, because they seem to pull a lot of things out of guys that hadn't reached the potential that we've seen them reach this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Gavin Sheets that comes here with the opportunity, talking to Schulte, Victor, Mike McCoy's done an unbelievable job with Gavin. You see guys like, at the end of the day, you look at the bullpen piece, it's David Morgan coming up through the organization, coming right into the mix in the big leagues. Schulte every day, it's every day is to talk about what baseball excellence looks like. It's a teaching class. The group is like, it's a thankless job. They're here at noon every day. They're the last guys to leave.
All right, sorry everybody about that heated argument Scraby and I had. I will direct everybody who wants to know what Robert Saleh said to any of the articles that covered this, and you can judge for yourself whether or not he threatened the guy's life. Now, we will get back to football. The good, the bad, the ugly is coming up in a little bit, but Tony is with us.
Yes, he is.
In Chicago. He was at the workout today. Padres working out at Wrigley Field. Hello, T. Isn't it great to be back in the postseason for the fourth time in 6 years? We should be enjoying this, but I get the feeling everybody's just worried as hell right now.
Yeah, I can't help the worry of everyone, but I can tell you that it is very exciting to be back here at the postseason, especially here in Chicago. And I thought the Padres finished the week the way I would want my team to finish the week offensively. They did a really good job, I thought, in the last two series against Milwaukee and the Diamondbacks of putting together some good offense. So I listen, this is I think the Padres are going in with some momentum. Obviously, that may or may not carry over. We'll see. Game one, we know, is extremely important. It was talked about a lot during the press conferences today, and Padres are poised to get off the gates well, I think.
Well, look, the Padres have been in this 2 out of 3 situation now 3 times here in the last 5 years. This is the 4th time in the playoffs. 2020, they beat the Cardinals. 2022, they beat the Mets on the road. And last year, they beat the Braves. So they've done okay in these short series. Yeah. And, this is what you have here. against the Cubs, and you haven't seen these guys since April, so I don't think you can even put any stock into that.
Yeah, I agree.
But what everybody is saying is that Game 1, 12 series, and 12 times Game 1 team winner has gone on to win the series. I guess that means something, but it really doesn't, because what happens if the Padres win tomorrow and then the Cubs win the next two? That'd be like, so
right.
what?
It's like that until someone changes.
Yeah, right.
It.
It's like that until something happens. So
right, and then they'll say, well, there's only been one team that's ever won a series after Game 1, and so you got to let 12 times in the grand scheme of things is not a whole lot.
No,
of data to really pull from, but it is the data that we have, and so. Because that's the case, yeah, Game 1's pretty important. No team has ever won the series without it. So
I will caution everybody that when the Cubs, way back when in 1984, beat the Padres the first two games, no team had ever come from 2-0 behind in the National League to win a best of 5. And then the Padres did that. So there you go. All right, fast forward 41 years, and here they are again, the Cubs and the Padres. Just can you give me a little feel? I know you talked to the guys today. I'm sure everybody's pretty loose and saying all the right things, Tony. Just give us a feel.
Yeah, I mean, they look crisp. I mean, they took some infield, they took some outfield. You can tell that everybody's excited and looking forward to it. It wasn't like they were jumping around like little kids or anything like that, but they certainly had a level of professionalism as they, went through their stretching. Usually stretching is kind of scattered, during the regular season. Guys come out, everyone, like a couple come out, a couple more come out. They eventually get it together. They were all out there ready to roll. They took a crisp outfield, infield. Then they got to hitting balls all over the ballpark, and it's a beautiful day today. I mean, it's very much San Diego. So if the idea was to get the West Coasters out here and freeze them to death, it's not going to be the case these next 3 days. We got really good weather. The factor, of course, will be the wind. We don't know which way it's going to blow. Sounds like talking to the people around the building, it has been blowing in for about a week straight. So what that means for tomorrow, I don't know. But guys were pretty loose. Heard from Pivetta, heard from Machado, heard from Schilt. They're ready to go.
Well, look, I think it's going to be interesting to see how, Mike Schilt goes about managing this series. I don't know that the Cubs have the same options. They have some good bullpen pieces, don't get me wrong. But the Padres have great bullpen pieces, right? They have Morejon. They have, Estrada, who, hopefully – I'll take that, strike out the side inning the other night as a sign that maybe he's hopefully going to, be back. Mason Miller, I would, if I was the Padres, I'd just pitch him all 9 innings, both games, and take my chances. But you got Suarez. So they've got all these guys. And now for Michael King in the bullpen as well. So how would you do it if you're Mike Schilt? You want to use your advantage, right, Tony? But you also don't want to run to it if you don't have to.
I mean, the advantage is the bullpen, and so the advantage there is if you get into trouble, you have a bullpen to go to. You're not going to the bullpen unless the starter is indicating that you need to go to the bullpen. So Nick Pivetta's on the mound tomorrow. I'm sure he wants to do his thing. This is a chance on the big stage. He has pitched his behind off all season long. And so, you want to use your bullpen, but that is not and Mike kind of hit on this during his presser. He wants his starter to do its thing first, and then you can kind of figure out where you go from there. But that isn't the option until, Pivetta gets into some trouble. And so Pivetta gives you 6. Guess what? Your bullpen is even in better shape for the following day.
Yeah.
Because, you haven't had to go up to all of the arms, assuming that everything goes, according to plan. And so, the Padres, ultimately, their best weapon is going to be their offense, because if they get a lead, now you get to dictate your bullpen. If you don't have a lead, or you're chasing, or you're having to go to the bullpen early, you're not really dictating anything at that point. You're having to go to it because of trouble. So if the offense gets the lead, now you get to kind of dictate what you want to do with your bullpen.
Lefty Matthew Boyd tomorrow for the Cubs. I know it's been a while since we saw him. We saw him at Wrigley Field on April 5th. Padres didn't get anything off him. 5 hits, no runs. They saw him here in San Diego, did a little bit better. I got a couple runs off him in 5+. But he's been good and really good against left-handed batters this year, Tony. I feel like I don't want to put extra pressure, but I feel like, Toddy, Manny, Bogarts are going to have to, carry some of do some of the heavy lifting, at least tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, ultimately, the lefties got to participate in the offense too, regardless of how good Boyd has been against left-handers. This is the postseason, so we can't keep leaning on he's been good against lefties, so Manny and if this team wants to go to a World Series, lefties are gonna have to hit lefties, righties are gonna have to hit righties at some point. I'm not saying they got to go out and hit 500. Or even 300, but they got to be able to carry the weight. I think, by the way, Matthew Boyd is an impressive dude. I got listened to him today. He was super emotional, tears in his eyes. Remember, this dude has dealt with a lot of injury. His grandfather's apparently grew up a Cubs fan, so he was in tears as he was answering questions. And at the end, it got a little uncomfortable because I think he didn't want to be in tears. But yeah, I think. In terms of the Padres, we've talked so much about better lineups, who hits better where, lefties, righties. It's go time now. So whatever that lineup is tomorrow, and I have a sense that I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot of lefties in there. I think O'Hearn's going to be in there. Yeah. I think Sheets is going to be in there. And so if that's the case, regardless of how well Matthew Boyd did during the regular season against lefties, some of these lefties are going to have to step up in the same way that Toddy and Manny are going to have to, and Bogey are going to have to step up. That's already the case. But if this team is going to go far, it's going to probably be because other guys have stepped up too, including those lefties.
Matthew Boyd, Oregon State guy, making the start. He's a Beav. Yeah, and he'll make the start tomorrow. Looking at the guy, and he is first 24 starts this year. He gave up more than 3 earned runs only 3 times. However, the last 7 starts, he gave up more than 3, 5 of the 7. So he hasn't been pitching as well. Hopefully, Padres can keep that going. Tony's in Chicago. Yeah. We're here in the Odyssey Palace studios. Tony touched on the lineup, but I have a couple of ideas I want to run through. And we'll do that, talking more Padres, getting ready for the playoffs on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and Woods on The Fan.
Coming up.
Manny, you were the first chip to come in here. What does it feel like getting this organization back to the playoffs and back-to-back seasons?
Man, it feels great, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. From that first meeting with AJ to meeting Ron and Peter, you're just seeing the growing pains of losing, falling short, making it to postseason, making it short, having an unbelievable team, and now being back here back-to-back. I mean, it's just, city of San Diego deserves it, the fans deserve it, and this organization as well.
Man, you kind of put this team on your back through the mid portion of this season when the offense was a little bit waning. I mean, this is kind of what you do. How good does it feel to get them to this point and then have your teammates kind of pick you up there at the end?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I came here for a reason, was to win and pick up a team and ride, and this is what I do. I've done it my entire career, continue doing it, and I got faith in my boys. I know that I can ride for a team for a little bit, and I know my boys are going to come up there and pick me up when I'm down as well, and they did that this whole month. And they picked me up, and look where we're at, man. We fought, we've grinded, we've gone through the gauntlet as a team, and man, it just feels so good. Feels so good.
You guys, you kind of mentioned it. Last year, you guys got to the second half and just rolled. This year, it wasn't that easy. You guys had to really grind it out. Does it make getting to this point that much more fulfilling when you had to work that hard to get there?
I wouldn't say that because it's hard.
I wouldn't say that, but man, it feels good to win. Feels good to win, to be back in this spot. And yeah, it hasn't been easy, but this team has fought. We fought since last year, and we're going to continue to do it.
You guys got 5 more games to go against some opponents that obviously the Brewers are where they are. The Diamondbacks still in this bad boy. Yes, what are you guys trying to accomplish in these last 5?
We're not stopping. We're not stopping. Keep playing good baseball. We're going to continue to do it. You know, this isn't over. We got to get hot. We got to get going now, and we've been showing clips and going, but we got guys fully going. We got guys doing the things that need to get back to, and we're gonna get rolling. And when this business isn't finished, we gotta continue to the end.
Congratulations, my friend. Manny, you were the first chip to come in here. What does it feel like getting this organization back to the playoffs and back-to-back seasons?
Man, it feels great, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, from that first meeting with AJ to meeting Ron and Peter, you just seen the growing pains of losing, falling short, making it to postseason, making it short, having an unbelievable team, and now being back here back-to-back. I mean, it's just, City of San Diego deserves it, the fans deserve it, and this organization as well.
Man, you kind of put this team on your back through the mid portion of this season when the offense was a little bit waning. I mean, this is kind of what you do. How good does it feel to get them to this point and then have your teammates kind of pick you up there at the end?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I came here for a reason, was to win and pick up a team and ride, you know, and this is what I do. I've done it my entire career, continue doing it, and I got faith in my boys. I know that I can ride for a team for a little bit, and I know my boys are going to come up there and pick me up when I'm down as well, and they did that this whole month. And they picked me up, and look where we're at, man. We fought, we've grinded, you know, we've gone through the gauntlet as a team, and man, it just feels so good. Feels so good.
You guys, you kind of mentioned it. Last year, you guys got to the second half and just rolled. This year, it wasn't that easy. You guys had to really grind it out. Does it make getting to this point that much more fulfilling when you had to work that hard to get there?
I wouldn't say that because it's hard. I wouldn't say that, but man, it feels good to win. Feels good to win, to be back in this spot. And yeah, it hasn't been easy, but this team has fought. We fought since last year, and we're going to continue to do it.
You guys got 5 more games to go against some opponents that obviously the Brewers are where they are. The Diamondbacks still in this bad boy. Yes, what are you guys trying to accomplish in these last 5?
We're not stopping. We're not stopping. Keep playing good baseball. We're going to continue to do it. You know, this isn't over. We got to get hot. We got to get going now, and we've been showing clips and going, but we got guys fully going. We got guys doing the things that need to get back to, and we're gonna get rolling. And when this business isn't finished, we gotta continue to the end.
Congratulations, my friend. Manny, you were the first chip to come in here. What does it feel like getting this organization back to the playoffs and back-to-back seasons?
Man, it feels great, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, from that first meeting with AJ to meeting Ron and Peter, you just seen the growing pains of losing, falling short, making it to postseason, making it short, having an unbelievable team, and now being back here back-to-back. I mean, it's just, City of San Diego deserves it, the fans deserve it, and this organization as well.
Man, you kind of put this team on your back through the mid portion of this season when the offense was a little bit waning. I mean, this is kind of what you do. How good does it feel to get them to this point and then have your teammates kind of pick you up there at the end?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I came here for
there. I wouldn't even tag along, Tony. I would honestly just go on my own and get some deep dish pizza, sausage, onions, extra cheese. Just the way I like it.
That's your pizza right there, sausage and onions.
Yep, a little extra cheese, deep dish. I kind of like Gino's East, but I will be, accepting of pretty much any of the Chicago pizzerias.
What about Lou Malnati's?
Luminati's, I've been there.
It's not Luminati's.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was Lou Malnati's.
Luminati's. I know. I ordered their salad dressing to be shipped out to my house one time. Illuminati's has really good salad dressing. That's beside the point.
It's two words though.
Yeah, I know, but they say it kind of together, and it sounds like.
Oh, I forgot.
Anyway,
we have a Chicago pizza.
Yes, I'm a
here.
Chicago native. I've been there one time in my life, maybe two.
Ever since Chris set me up for failure, I'm like,
he's been on a he's been angry all weekend. Tony Gwynn Jr. I looked at the lineup, and I keep looking at the lineup, and I am worried about the 5 lefties in there.
Yeah, there's no. Explain that. There's no actual lineup yet.
Right, no lineups out there. But I'm worried about the 5.
So you're looking at the last lineup. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at what I expect. I think most people expect to be the lineup. And the other thing that I know Mike Schilt is very, doesn't enjoy doing is putting lefty, 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 which he kind of would have to do with the way it's set up right now, 6, 7, 8. So I'm wondering if maybe Iglesias gets the call at DH and O'Hearn plays left field, even though he's only been there 20 games in his career, and you bring Sheets off the bench. That would put a righty in the middle of the lefties. I just wonder if Schilt's thinking about it. Maybe he'll stay up all night, or maybe he's already decided,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he has left the 3 lefties back to back to back to back other than against righties all season. Now, if he goes with Sheets, I could see him dropping Xander down maybe to kind of break up the 3.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I mean, or he could start Johnson, who's a switch hitter. He could start Iglesias. Ultimately, again, we know he doesn't want to give, and no manager really in today's game wants to give a runway where there's just all lefties, where they could either have Boyd benefit from it or the lefties coming out of the pen. But either way, it's small potatoes, man. At the end of the day, they're going to have to hit. There's no way around
you're
it.
hitting
The Padres,
that right up.
the Padres' best lineup is with Gavin Sheets in it right now. Obviously we're missing Ramon Laureano, so he's not an option. But that's their best lineup, and whether it's the 3 of them back to back to back, or if you split it up, you find a righty to throw in there so that it's not 3, they're gonna have to hit either way. And so I would just tell you, you might as well just stop worrying and just wait and see what happens, because there's no new answers coming through the door. The same guys we saw the last week of the season, minus Ramon Laureano, are going to be the guys that they're going to go with.
Yeah, but I'm a fan, and I, have to just worry about the playoffs tomorrow.
No, you don't have to. You choose to
but
worry.
I'm going to.
Good point, Tony.
I choose to. I choose to. Look, that's just the way it's going to have to be. They got to go out there. They got to score 4 runs. They don't have to, but 4 would be great. They won 77% of their games this year when they scored 4. So,
yeah,
that's the magic number. So
that's
it seems.
Definitely their magic number for sure.
Yeah, it has definitely been the case. As far as Pivetta,
yeah,
he seems like he is going to be. Was he like game mode already today? You said you were able.
No,
to
he was
hang
pretty
out.
loose.
Okay, good.
He was very much like he was when he came on with us the other day. I mean, he doesn't. To me, he doesn't really come off as someone that is like super like. He's always game ready to me. Like even when he is kind of being his version of playful, he still is a very professional, like focused dude. And I didn't see anything different today. I think it's the same. I think he's excited. We've talked a lot about it. He's been one of those dudes that the numbers just didn't match what everybody was seeing, and for it to come together all season long the way it has, I'm sure he wants nothing more to get on this stage in particular. He was kind of seen out before, the guys got ready, just kind of taking it all in. And that to me is a dude that is living in the moment and is ready to take on whatever it is. He didn't have a good outing here his last time here. I think it was the last game of that series against the Cubs.
Right. That's the game we won, actually. But yeah, he didn't pitch well.
He didn't pitch well, and he really, I thought, hit the nail on the head. His troubles came really self-inflicted. He walked a bunch of guys that game. He wasn't really commanding it, and that's really how he got himself into trouble here. And so he pitched better, I believe, because it was the same matchup, I think, when the Padres faced him here in San Diego in April. And I just think I think he's up for the challenge, man. I really do. He hasn't really wavered at any point this year. You know, he might have had a bad, an okay one here and there, but he's been pretty solid all season.
So Dylan Cease gets the call for game 2.
Yes.
I'm pretty confident that Dylan Cease can pitch a Dylan Cease game. I know other people, you talk about worry, Tony. That's where I think a lot of the worry is coming from right now. But to me, I don't have a problem with this. And I also, I would go, if it was a winner-take-all game 3, Darvish is my guy. So I'm just assuming Michael King, they didn't feel is right, at this point. And you just got to trust that Cease is going to pitch one of his games.
Yeah, man, I think it's Cease he's been better first in the last couple of outings. But then when you kind of match it up against what you've seen from Darv, what you've seen from Michael, and it's really unfair to throw Michael in there because he's only had 4 starts. But that was the time frame they were under. And I don't know that anything changed for those two guys I just named, in Darvish and King, in their last starts. They kind of looked like we've seen them look, in the previous starts that we've seen them. And so, I think there's a couple things at play here with the Padres and going with Dylan. As I mentioned, he's thrown the ball a little bit better his last couple times out. The Cubs struggle with the fastball. That's the other thing. And the one thing Dylan's got over both of those guys we just named is a high octane fastball. And so if he can go out and command it, that is a bonus for the Padres, because that, throughout the season, all of this stuff starts over once you get to the postseason, which we've kind of highlighted, like nothing that you did in the regular season matters. However, what the regular season does do is you do know the makeup and the character of all of these teams, right? You don't go from struggling to hit fastballs to all of a sudden just start being great at it, right? There's 162 games of evidence behind it. And so I think those are the things that are at play with Dylan. I think it was only enhanced by Darv never really getting going the way I think we've grown accustomed to seeing, and Michael really not having enough time to get going the way we saw him go in 2024. And so certainly a nice weapon to have coming out of the bullpen, though, for sure.
Tony's in Chicago. Scraby and myself, the Odyssey Palace Studios. Padres Cubs tomorrow, shortly after noon. Fernando Tatis Jr. will step into the batter's box, Tony, and it'll be postseason, and he'll be first up. And I didn't even realize – I knew he was great in the postseason. I did not know the numbers were this staggering for Fernando. In 13 games, to have a postseason OPS of 1,328. I mean, are you kidding? 6 home runs, 375 average, 854 slugging. I mean, come on, Fernando. Turn the light bulb on tomorrow. He loves this, and we just got to hope.
The light bulb is...
No, but you know what I mean? Like, make it brighter than tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is what I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it feels like this is what Toddy is like, lives for.
Yeah.
Like this stage, these bright lights, like this is where I feel like he does his best work. And so I don't think I think it's perfect timing, I should say, that he got going when he did. Like, it seems like the last couple of weeks he's really started to, return to that toddy. And I think it's coming at a perfect time. At a perfect time.
Manny, his career postseason aren't quite the same. Again, it's always a shorter sample size, but in 25 games, he's hit 216 with the Padres, 7 home runs. So he's had some long ball in there. Career says, same, 215 career in the postseason. Can that weigh on anybody's head? Or is Manny, this guy, he's so confident. I don't know that even wrinkles him at all, even though some people will probably bring it up here, as I just did.
I'm not sure if he is thinks about it, but I'm damn sure that he wouldn't let us know that he was thinking about it at any point. But just given what I know about him, I don't see it being a factor, man. Like, he has a great ability to kind of like compartmentalize, I guess, is maybe the right word. He just doesn't get involved with those type of thoughts, it seems like. And listen, he's human. I'm sure there are times where he's saying, man, I'm not good right now. But I just don't see that being one of them. Like, I think he is more locked in on doing whatever he's got to do to help this year. I think he would tell you that too. Like, those other years, it doesn't even matter. Right now, I'm just trying to help this ball club win. And it'd be great. It'd be great to have. What we haven't seen all year long is Jackson, Toddy, and Manny all going at the same time. We might have had 2 or 3. We certainly have had 1 of 3. But not at any point in this year have Toddy, Manny, and Jackson been going at the same time. It would be explosive if all 3 of those dudes got going right now.
Yeah, I'll take that. I would definitely take that.
You'll take it?
I mean, we gotta have.
I think we all take it.
Of course.
Yeah.
We gotta have.
Sammy was telling us about the wind there at Wrigley, saying it was pretty windy.
Tony, and you probably played in it. I mean, that can be crazy.
I don't know how much Sammy's. I believe Sammy might be new to Wrigley. What today was not windy.
Okay, this wasn't windy by Wrigley standards.
This is just normal windy.
Okay.
Listen, I contend that the Padres are probably better prepared than any other team playing in San Francisco as often as they do.
Right.
With all the wind that they deal with there, but this is definitely a different monster for sure. At least, let me say this, at least it wasn't that windy when the Padres were hitting.
How about the Cubs and Chicago and the way that, these guys got to deal with their side of the equation here? The Cubs have always been the lovable losers, right? It's been 100 years. They had the one World Series. That was now 9 years ago. I imagine some of the luster that's even worn off. So, what's the vibe like there from the Chicago side? We look at it from our side, but I assume they're facing similar questions and concerns too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have listening to the questions that were asked during the Cubs portion of things to Craig Counsell was really centered around Boyd and how they got to the decision to go with Boyd over Imanaga, who's throwing the ball extremely well against the Padres. And you just get the sense that they didn't talk unless I think they were a lot more closer to the vest than I felt like the Padres were. Their offense has, in the same way the Padres had, they kind of mirror each other in some way. They both had like lulls where the offense couldn't score. The Cubs struggled mightily to score. And then they got to this last couple of weeks of the season, and both offense started looking different. And so I think in this series it's really going to boil down to can either offense not fall into what they had done during the regular season when they weren't well. I think that's going to be a big factor in this because, as we said, if the Padres can get a lead early, it might be lights out.
I like their chances. Give me 4 early, and then I'll turn it over to the rest of the crew. I want
you
that
went 4
runs.
early. Huh?
I want that 4. Bob Melvin was fired today by the Giants.
Yes,
That wasn't a shock to me because he was inherited by Buster Posey, right?
But Buster Posey gave him he's our manager for next year.
Yeah, well, they
speech.
always say that.
I know. I mean, it's kind of
they always say that.
It's true until it's not. It's true until it's not.
Good point.
It was true when he said it, and then at some point it became not true anymore, and he had to let him know.
I think Bob did a credible job with a Giant team that I didn't think was all that, and then completely looked like they fell apart, and he somehow propped them up to get them back to 500. I don't know. I think I'm more of a Bob Melvin fan than a lot of people. I know you are too, Tony, but that's just the game of baseball.
I'm definitely a Bob Melvin fan, but unlike you, I thought they had a good enough team to
do better.
Certainly, to do better, and they did do better at the time of the year. I mean, they were the team that was for a large part of the season ahead of the Diamondbacks. They were the third team for most of the season, and then they stopped hitting too. It just so happened to be right after that deal for Devers, but they got a good little nucleus there. I mean, Devers is going to be there for a while. You signed up Adames. What will Lee look like in year 3? He's gotten injured back-to-back seasons at different points. They got two guys at the front line of their rotation that are pretty good.
Yeah,
bullpen's going to have to be addressed for sure. But I'm like you, it wasn't that much of a surprise as the season went on. Seemed like he had saved himself with the good run.
Yeah.
And then he lost all that grace way they finished the year.
Yeah.
Kind of just falling by the wayside.
Well, the other thing is Bruce Bochy's going to be there next year. I just feel
that is certainly once I saw that one pop up, it was like, oh man, that might be too.
The stars are aligning.
Yeah, the stars exactly, Scrape.
They're
totally aligning for him to go there. So
there was one more manager got let go today.
Rocco Baldelli.
Rocco Baldelli.
Yeah, he's gone to Minnesota. But before I let you roll for the evening and start preparing, but your thoughts on our friend Juan Soto and the Mets missing the playoffs? That was, I know, I shouldn't be blaming Juan Soto. The guy was unstoppable all year, but.
Oh, look at that, Tony. It's the end of the hour.
Yeah. Lucky you.
Listen, they, I don't know, man. They don't have an excuse. They had a good team, and they somehow just coughed it up. I don't know. I mean, they're going to lose, sounds like they're going to lose Pete Alonso. So they got some money to kind of spread around to kind of help some of those issues next year, sounds like. Yeah.
But Mets fans are happy to hear that Carlos Mendoza will be back, according to the Mets. Yes.
They wouldn't have been happy if
I know.
It could have been Jesus that was the manager, and they would have been mad. It's probably.
Yeah, they probably had a right to be mad. All right, Tony, we'll talk to you tomorrow. We do not want to see you for till next week, middle of next week.
Yes.
So
I hope I don't see you guys for a long time.
Yeah, have a good long trip, and we're back with hour number 3 on Gwynn and Chris. The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down
like
for everybody.
Really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola, going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell.
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, "Hey, there's a commotion."
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that. But we go kind of not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavy set?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. Of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has to stop. while we try to extricate the lady from the gondola.
Okay, let me ask you a
underneath
question.
the gondola.
What?
She's got one leg on the gondola. The rest of her body is underneath the gondola. And when I arrive to see what's going on, I'm kind of the first or second person there.
You're a first responder?
Pretty much. The guy running the gondola place is busy stopping
Traffic,
the ride.
yeah.
No, he's stopping the ride.
Oh, okay, all right.
So we're kind of first there. Lori's behind me. The lady's on her back. She's looking straight up in the air. And the only description I have is one of utter panic and utter terror combined with total helplessness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say embarrassment.
No, total helplessness. She's not only trapped, but she's not even remotely doing anything to help herself. She's kind of in a panic, and you think something terrible is going to happen, or she does.
Okay.
I go over there. First thing, breathe.
That's what you said?
I told the lady to
That's
breathe.
good. That's good.
I said, you're going to be okay.
That's good.
Just breathe.
That's good.
Try to relax.
That was the perfect thing you could have said.
As I'm stupidly pulling this 250-pound gondola, trying to pull it off of her. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're getting
the gondola
an idea.
is way heavier than 250 pounds.
Yeah, right. 1,000-pound gondola.
So you're trying to like
I'm
move the
trying
gondola.
to just move it a little to.
Is her leg like? How is she attached to this gondola?
Well, I told you, her one leg's actually on the gondola in the doorway.
Okay.
Then the rest of her body's underneath. What is stuck with her in the gondola is her belly, not her leg.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Oh,
okay.
no.
So I'm pulling. By the time finally a couple more people pull and we are able to get enough airway to get her to scramble out of there. And then she immediately stepped on the gondola to go take her ride up the mountain. And off she went.
This is
I felt like I saved her life. I really do. I honestly feel like I almost saved her life.
I kind of will credit you with this.
You know, she was. I think if I didn't tell her to breathe, I think she would have gone into some sort of shock or whatever you do.
No,
she was
you're
going
right.
into a
You're right.
panic, Scraby.
You're
She was going into
absolutely
an absolute panic, and you know, I had to calming her down. I think was the number one thing. She wasn't in any real danger, but she wasn't feeling great because she was trapped under the gondola.
But
the
fact
look on,
that you said her belly was
yes, her belly. Yeah, I'm telling you, Scrabe, it was a factor. And there was, you know, there's a couple of people pulling on an arm trying to drag her out.
I'm crying.
I know. There's people on the other side with her arm. They're trying to drag her. I'm like lifting the gondola so she can get a little room to get out of there.
You're like, hey, I'm going to take the gondola. It's lighter.
All right. I didn't say that. You did. But it was quite the scene.
I am happy that she's okay, obviously.
She's fine.
If
she
this
got
was
right on the gondola.
If this was a worse story, I would not be laughing. But she's fine. You did probably help her a lot more than you think you did.
I think so. Because she was able to calm down just a tad. The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down
like
for everybody.
really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola.
Okay.
Going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell?
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, hey, there's a commotion.
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that. But we go kind of, not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavy set?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. Of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has. Coming up this hour, we will get to our good, bad, and ugly Week 4 in the National Football League. We really just haven't talked much football today, which is fine. We got a pretty big baseball game going on tomorrow, and this is the home of the Padres. Game 1 tomorrow with Jesse and Tony shortly after noon. Cubs have still not named, at least where I've seen anything official, their starting pitchers for games 2 and 3.
I keep updating it, and you're right.
Yeah. I would go Imanaga, but it's not my call. For game 2, they also could go with Jamison Taillon, who's pitched pretty well this year and has been really very good in September. I think his last 4 starts did not allow more than 1 or 2 runs in any of those. Colin Ray is another option. You know who he started his career with?
I don't.
The San Diego Padres.
I figured, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, Colin Ray was a Padre at the very beginning. That was 7-8 years ago, but he also had a pretty good season. You know, I think they would have gone with Cade Horton for sure, the Rookie of the Year candidate, but he's obviously out for the series. And so, look, the Padres aren't the only ones missing a key piece as these teams get ready to do it. Go after tomorrow. Some Chris versus the fans coming up here in this segment. And just a quick behind-the-scenes peek at Gwynn and Chris for a second. We have the MLB Network on one TV because we're keeping tabs on any playoff news. On the other TV, we had the NFL Network because, well, the NFL is a big deal. I got up during the break and switched the NFL Network to the NHL Network. And Scraby's like, correctly, what are we doing? We're like,
what are we doing?
What is hockey? It's not even hockey season.
They're just showing highlights from.
Yeah,
it's a preseason game,
right? But you know, the reason I'm doing this is because the Dolphin game starts in 10 minutes.
But you don't even
Jets.
care about it.
I don't until I was actually be watching it. Then you would see how much I cared about it. And I don't think it's fair to the listeners that I start bad-mouthing the television during the radio show.
I have an idea.
Okay, what do you have?
Why don't you just do your job and not say anything about what's going on TV?
I can't do it. I already know my limitations.
That's not a good excuse.
Do you think you could watch a 49er game, a real game, regular season game, while you're doing the Scraby Chronicles and not say a thing about the 49er game?
Yeah, if we were doing that, yeah.
You could do it?
I've done it.
Okay.
And then in the break, I throw things and I get mad and I go, welcome back, everybody, to the Scraby Show.
I've tried. Here's the reason I'm not doing it, because I've tried to do it in the past. And it just leads to long moments of dead silence on the radio while I'm watching some New York Jet guy run down the field 80 yards for a touchdown.
I'll fill it in and tell everybody that you're crying.
You can tell, yeah, right.
August says you guys were loving the NFL preseason and talked a lot about it. I don't remember loving the preseason.
I think we kind of joke about the fact we're excited that it's here, but we don't talk too much about it. We also haven't mentioned today, let me sneak it in there, 6-3 Saturday.
Oh, the Aztecs?
6-3.
Hey, it's a win.
Win's a win. But 6-3.
They're on the road. I'm going to give this one to them.
Hey, look, their defense is really, pretty darn good. I don't think Northern Illinois crossed the 50-yard line after the first drive of the game. So defensively, they really are playing well. Good for them.
That is the hallmark of a Aztec football team.
All right. Let's go to Chris versus the fans, where you have a chance to qualify for a chance to win our grand prize, which is a trip to see Eagles at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Yes, it is just Eagles. We looked it all up. It's not the Eagles.
It's crazy, huh?
You get 2 tickets to the show on January 30th. You also get a 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort right there in Las Vegas, a VIP package, and a $100 gas card. Eagles, they've added 2026 shows to their residency at the Sphere. The additional shows, January 23rd and 4th, also January 30th and 31st. So the residency there now features a total of 48 shows through Saturday, January 31. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Pregame.com. Let's play ball. Scrape.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you are eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free today. All right, I just wanted to say to everyone, yes, I'm in a bad mood. I got a few messages about it. Are you in a bad
really?
mood,
People
Scraby?
are asking if you're
Why
in a bad
are you
mood.
in a bad mood, Scraby?
He is in a bit of a cranky mood. I don't
I'm
know
a
what
cranky
happened.
pants. I'm a cranky pants today.
You know, you were here for you if you want to share the dirty laundry. Nope.
I want to
Okay.
bury that and move right along.
All right.
Move
Well,
right along.
that's
Let's
okay.
just say this weekend wasn't relaxing whatsoever.
I don't know why. We had a great time Friday out at
Yes, we did.
At Baja Ricks.
And I had a great time on Friday night.
Yeah, appreciate everybody coming on out. And
It was
we had
sad.
really
It
good
was
time out there.
It was like Saturday morning
when things changed for you.
cattywampus.
Okay, cattywampus.
I'm like,
I like it.
You know, waking up. Oh, it's Saturday. This is great. Do. And then, bah!
It all came down on you.
Yes, it did.
Well, we're here for you.
Thank you.
If need be.
Thank you. I just want this game to happen tomorrow because I don't like having to wait a day for a playoff game. I know it's just a day, but
got to build up a little, excitement.
Yes, you do. All right, let's get to our first
Give the
contestant.
rules.
I did.
Oh, you did. All right.
Let's go.
No, you didn't.
to-
We didn't say first time player.
Yes, we definitely did.
Okay. I don't remember saying it.
You definitely said it.
I did.
Yes.
All right.
Let's go to. There's 2 Matts, huh? Let's go to the first Matt. Hello, Matt.
First Matt. That's you.
I'll give it a shot.
Yep.
Matt.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
first Matt.
What is going
Happy
on?
playoff eve.
Oh,
and
there you go.
Scraby, while you don't like waiting a day, I'm from Seattle. I don't like waiting a week because I'm just dreading the option.
Boy, yeah, the old Mariner thing. You know, there's some people that are picking a
Dreading-
Mariner Padre World
Just hit after a
Series.
week.
I get
I
it,
can
Matt.
see it.
I get it that would be hard to wait. A week is a long time in playoff world.
Yeah,
that is a
for
long time. But all right,
But
Matt.
at least I get some Padres to watch in the meantime.
Yeah.
There you go.
And at
There you
least
go.
you're in. So that's a good thing.
Yes, you are in for sure.
Will not complain about a bye at all.
All right, here we go, Matt. Question number 1. Who is going to pitch for the Padres in Game 1 tomorrow?
Game 1 starter Nick Pivetta.
Nick Pivetta is correct.
Who's going in game 1 for the Mariners this weekend, do you think, Matt?
Brian Wu. Fortunately, his pec will be healthy enough.
Oh, he said Brian Wu.
Okay.
Which Brian Wu is great. So
He has been
I didn't know
great.
he had a pec injury, though.
He scared us. He walked out of Houston 5 innings into a dominant start and just threw a couple warm-ups and walked away, and we thought it was the end of the world, but it was just a sore pec.
Okay. You know what I really appreciate? Matt said something there that all of us do.
What?
He said he scared us as if Matt owns the team.
Oh, well, no, I
That's
get
how
it.
you should feel
Oh, I get
as
it.
a fan.
I get it for
and
sure.
I appreciate it.
I for sure
Exactly.
get it.
Exactly. All right.
Because when Diaz left the game the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, what's
What are you
happening?
doing to me?
Well, what's going on, man? We can't do it without you.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Question number 2. The Yankees have the most World Series titles in history of baseball. Which team ranks second in World Series titles?
That would be the Redbirds, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Cardinals is correct.
Yeah,
Wow,
the
Matt knows his
Redbirds.
baseball.
I
All
think they got
right.
11, maybe.
12?
12, he says.
I don't
Could be
have the
12.
number, but it's up there.
They got more than the Dodgers do. So that's the race for second
Thankfully.
there. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Third and final question for Matt. This is going to be a difficult question. It's about last year's Padres playoffs against the Braves in the wild card.
Okay.
After Joe Musgrove exited the 2024 wild card series, which Padres pitcher entered and earned the win?
That's cold, Scrape.
This feels like one Chris will pull out. Wandy Peralta.
Wandy.
You think I'll pull this out, huh? I don't think I'm going to pull this
Stay
out.
there. Stay there.
I remember Joe going out. I
Me
definitely
too.
remember that.
Were we sitting
And,
next to each other? I don't think so, maybe.
I don't think so because I didn't have a seat in the press box last
that
playoffs.
No, that was for the Dodgers series.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
Wait. Adrian Morahone.
Adrian
I'll take a guess.
Morahone.
Least guess.
Wow. One and done today, Matt.
Hey, good for you, man.
Stay on the line. It was. I think you almost said it.
I did.
I feel like half of the first name came out of your mouth. Brian Hoeing.
Brian Hoeing.
Yes.
No, I didn't even think it. I don't even remember him playing for the Padres, basically. Sorry about that if you're out there, Brian. He's been on the show several times, and we always like having him on. But
yeah, he kind of was a forgotten guy this year.
Yeah, a little bit injuries back and forth. Oh, he got the okay.
You got
Brian
the win.
Hoeing.
What did he pitch? Like an inning and a third?
I don't know, but he got the win, and those were the glory days of the Padres.
Wow, good job, Matt.
There you go, Matt. Stay on the line there. You win Chris versus the fans today. Sorry about that to everyone else out there who didn't get a chance because I went out quickly. But hey, it happens.
I have a topic for us since we're I think we're going to be.
No, I think we should talk about what you want to talk.
The Big Five.
Yeah, I think we should talk about what you want to talk
good,
about.
Good,
because I think that's big.
Yeah,
because the Ryder Cup, I know it's big to you. But
not this year.
This year, I mean, first of all, the U.S. was a debacle until, the last minute comeback.
It was.
But the U.S. golfers or golf team, however you want to call them, was not anywhere near closest to the biggest debacle that the U.S. turned in.
Not even close.
And we really need to discuss because our behavior in this country as fans is getting worse by the minute.
By the event.
And this weekend, it was bad at Beth Page Black.
Mm-hmm.
Scraby will scold everybody after traffic.
Thank you.
Friday time and time for our regular Friday visit. And today we bring in Gavin Sheets from the Padres as the Padres get set to start the 3-game series tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Gavin Sheets last joined us at spring training. I don't know if you remember that particular interview, Gavin, sitting out there by the benches, but we were really impressed and we really couldn't wait to see you play. But really at that time, I don't think anybody was, totally expecting what has happened since that time, which is, you having a great season and, putting yourself squarely in the middle of what the Padres have accomplished this year. So congratulations to you and just talk a little bit about, what this season has meant to you so far.
Yeah, I think that obviously I do remember that the conversation we had out there in completely different times. And no, I think that, kind of when I was talking to you then too, it was just, looking back at this off season, the things I wanted to accomplish, the places I wanted to go. And, I wanted a new change of scenery where the excitement was there and where the goal was to win a World Series. And I think, you look now we're at August 1st and, at this point right now, I've matched some career highs, and I think that after we saw what happened yesterday, I think that the goal of winning a World Series is right in front of us.
Yeah. Gavin Sheets joins us here, Padre outfielder, DH. He's kind of done a little bit of everything for the Pods. And Gavin, let's talk about the process, because we knew from having that conversation in spring training what your goals were, the things you kind of wanted to accomplish. But I know as you go through the season, you kind of have to be able to be flexible in how you are going to manage all of this. You've had times where you've been hot, you've cooled, gotten back hot. What has that process been like for you, sticking with it through some of the ups and downs you've had?
Yeah, I mean, it's the beautiful thing of baseball is no matter how hot you are, how cold you are, you got to come to the ballpark the next day and do it again. And, being an everyday guy for the first time in my career has been incredible. And I think you learn how to handle those things and you kind of learn on the fly, and you battle with, soreness and all this stuff that goes on, and showing up to the ballpark every single day and bringing it, and, dealing with slumps, dealing with hot streaks. And I've just enjoyed every second of it. Obviously, The roles might change a little bit going forward, but whatever it is and whatever I need to do, and the goal and the work ethic and all that still stays the same going forward.
Gavin, you knew that you could come here and be a big contributor, and you told us that, and you had us believing. I imagine that everyone was confident in your ability, when they put you in the lineup opening day. But how much did it mean to you personally and in terms of feeling a part of things to get that home run on opening day? Just contribute right off the bat, kind of signal to everybody that, I'm going to be around to help this club this year.
Yeah, that was I couldn't have scripted a better start. Obviously, that was about as cool as it gets. I hit a home run in the playoffs in 21, and that was about as close as, if not better, a feeling than I've ever had in my career. So that was just incredible. I mean, obviously playing in front of this home crowd and getting the first taste of it that day, and to be able to produce like that was a pretty special welcome to San Diego, to say the least.
Gavin, obviously we got a chance to chat with your dad, Larry, out in Philadelphia. He was out on the field. And I imagine for him, as it was for my dad, watching you is probably much harder than it was for him to be on the field. How much has he enjoyed getting a chance to see your success and get to be an everyday player through most of this year so far?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, he stresses out more watching me than when he played, for sure. But he's thoroughly enjoyed it. He's thoroughly enjoyed watching the brand of baseball we play, the way we go about our business, and obviously being a contributing factor to that has made it enjoyable for him. He can't stand the West Coast time zone. He said he's losing a lot of sleep because of it, but he's thoroughly enjoying every second of it.
Friday time, and time for our regular Friday visit. And today we bring in Gavin Sheets from the Padres as the Padres get set to start the three-game series tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Gavin Sheets last joined us at spring training. I don't know if you remember that particular interview, Gavin, sitting out there by the benches, but we were really impressed, and we really couldn't wait to see you play. But really at that time, I don't think anybody was totally expecting what has happened since that time, which is, you having a great season and, putting yourself squarely in the middle of what the Padres have accomplished this year. So congratulations to you, and just talk a little bit about, what this season has meant to you so far.
Yeah, I think that obviously I do remember that the conversation we had out there, and completely different times. And I think that, kind of when I was talking to you then too, it was just, looking back at this off season, the things I wanted to accomplish, the places I wanted to go, and I wanted a new change of scenery where the excitement was there, and where the goal was to win a World Series. And I think, you look now, we're at August 1st, and at this point right now, I've matched some career highs, and I think that after we saw what happened yesterday, I think that the goal of winning a World Series is right in front of us.
Yeah. Gavin Sheets joins us here, Padre outfielder, DH. He's kind of done a little bit of everything for the Pods. And Gavin, let's talk about the process, because we knew from having that conversation in spring training what your goals were, the things you kind of wanted to accomplish. But I know as you go through the season, you kind of have to be able to be flexible in how you are going to manage all of this. You've had times where you've been hot. You've cooled, gotten back hot. What has that process been like for you, sticking with it through some of the ups and downs you've had?
Yeah, I mean, it's the beautiful thing of baseball is no matter how hot you are, how cold you are, you got to come to the ballpark the next day and do it again. And being
good job there by Matt, the winner of Chris vs. the Fans today. Don't forget, we're on after the game tomorrow. All right. Sam Levitt gets it all started about 11 a.m., right, with the pregame. Of course, Ben and Woods in the morning, and then Braden, and then it's Sammy. And then game time a little after 12 o'clock tomorrow. Sammy does postgame. Scraby and I come in to pick up the pieces after it's all over tomorrow night.
Of a win, Chris.
Yeah. I hope. That'll be after the game tomorrow, so we'll look for you then. Still to come on the show, we'll finally get a look back at week number 4 of the National Football League. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But right now, it was just ugly at Bethpage Black. And that's the only way you can describe the behavior of the fans. So bad, Scraby, that very few people are even talking about the fact that the Americans, took it on the chin again. I think it's like the 11th time in the last 14 Ryder Cups that the Europeans have won.
It's not been great.
They came here and they blew it out. I mean, the U.S. had to make a belated rally to even make it look close yesterday.
Yeah, that's a score that does not reflect what actually happened.
I mean, it was the European. I just think in general, I could be wrong. The U.S. players, I'm sure, will disagree. The European guys just look like they care more about winning this thing than we do.
They may.
I don't know if it's true, but
they may.
They have the camaraderie, the celebration, the high fives.
It's very important for the European
and the U.S.
players.
is just kind of going through the motions. And anyway, but that's not what anyone's going to be talking about long after this, event is over.
Yeah.
I mean, the headlines that I'm looking at right now, Rory McIlroy has the last laugh after fans' disgraceful behavior. Bethpage Black comes close to boiling over. Ryder Cup fan behavior at Bethpage crossed the line. Rory discovers whether he'd even want to come back here. Ryder Cup menu has fans losing it at Bethpage Black. This is not what you want. America's Ryder Cup losers were outside the ropes.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the headlines.
Bro, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. I saved that one for last. America's Ryder Cup losers were actually outside the ropes.
Ooh, I love that headline.
Yeah. And look, I mean, the lead to that story is, this is a good lead too. It says, it was easy to find American losers at Bethpage Black on Saturday. You didn't even have to look inside the ropes.
It's true.
I mean, come on, people. And look, the article said that most of the fans were great. And this is the way that's true. You got to say that. Most of the fans just loved it. They were there for the golf. I don't know what we can do about the people that are just ruining it for everybody. The profanity, the obnoxiousness, the personalization of the comments.
Yeah.
Everything about Rory McIlroy's family and ex-wife and girlfriend, whatever it is. Nick Lowry had to be held back. Shane Lowry. I always say Nick Lowry, the old kicker for the Chiefs. See, these are the things I do in my old age. Yeah, Shane Lowry. I had to be held back. Rory was, shut the bleep up. I mean, and I would normally come out against Rory and say, hey, you got to control yourself.
You would.
But in this case, I don't know what else he could do. These people were just ridiculous. And I don't have a great answer.
I know what it was.
I just hope that we can, find a way past this stuff.
For whatever reason, Chris, and maybe it's since COVID,
okay,
people have not been able to go to events and drink alcohol at the same time, because there was a whole article on Saturday night that I read with a bunch of pictures of a bunch of people.
I think you got the call. You just did. You got it.
What? Oh,
they
alcohol?
can't serve beer anymore.
No, because
just
you know what?
We can't handle it.
It was like The Walking Dead. With this video that I saw of guys that were just so drunk they could barely stand up. There was a guy who threw up all over himself laying down on the ground.
Was it my friend Drunk Bronco fan?
Yes, it was.
Did he make the trip to
New
York?
Yes, it was Drunk Bronco fan. I should have put that together.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Rory, yes, in the Ryder Cup, it is a little bit different in golf where you are going to cheer against.
Right, you can cheer a little bit.
The Europeans.
Nothing wrong with that.
But when you're starting to yell out stuff to Rory's wife who was there and just saying nasty things about that stuff, and then like the bleep Rory McIlroy chant, like, okay, fine, I get it, but the thing that I don't get, it's not even
inventive though, is it?
Not.
You know what I mean? Like,
and let's say this is in New York, so they have the New York sports fan there.
Yeah, but that puts a bad light on all New York fans. Because I know a lot of great New York fans who love their sports, love their teams, and cheer as hard as anybody and care. And, unfortunately, these fans give all of them a bad name. Just like if this event was in San Diego, right? People would say, oh, you're San Diego fans. And I would say, no, that's not San Diego fans. That's a few people. I think you got it right, Scrabe. we got to be getting closer and closer to no alcohol, especially maybe at a golf tournament where the fans are right out there walking the course with these guys. Lowry and McIlroy, based on what I'm reading here, needed a police escort to finish their round the other day.
Yeah.
Come on. What is going on here?
People
where guys are feeling,
to, like, throw things.
Yes, people are feeling, nervous and scared out there. You're going to have to take the alcohol away.
And that will never happen.
Because
too many people make too much money off of the booze sales.
And I think, let's call out the sports themselves, not just golf, but let's call out the NBA. Let's call out baseball. Let's call out the NFL. Would they be willing to actually do this at the risk of losing some people coming to the games who might say, well, I don't need to be told I can't have a beer.
For the betterment of society, they should.
Yeah.
Because I saw another massive fight at Levi's Stadium yesterday during the 49ers
fights are
game.
so bad.
And this dude fell,
now.
Chris.
Yeah.
To the point where he almost fell over. And
I
that's
know.
going to happen. Someone's going to fall like that Pirates fan did and going to really, really hurt themselves.
Drunk Bronco fan, we made fun of that last week. And if you want to go back last Monday, I had the photo up of the guy who fell next to us in the stands at the game.
Here it is again for everybody.
Yeah, putting it up. Thank you. But that was tame compared to some of these
At
things
least he was
that are
sleeping.
Right. Yeah. But that was tame compared to the things we see at sporting events now. And unfortunately, we're getting just almost so used to it that we don't even pay much mind to it. Like, you could be walking out of a stadium and there could be a brawl and you'd be like, oh, look, there's a brawl.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the alcohol's got to go. And who's going to be the first league that's going to stand up? What commissioner is going to say, you know what? At the risk of, upsetting some of our fans, at the risk of whatever it might be. And, I don't like being told what to do any more than you or anyone else does. But ultimately here, the safety's got to be for these players, these athletes, the basketball players. You got the WNBA people. They're throwing on the court.
Yep.
This has got to, somewhere we've got to.
That wasn't even
this
alcohol.
off.
That was a kid that wanted to go viral.
But, I'm just saying.
It's all connected.
But alcohol gives you a lot of.
And before I get messages about, well, it's easy for you because you don't drink.
Right. I know.
I have said a million times.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with people drinking responsibly. Nothing.
Yeah,
but I'm not trying to get rid of alcohol because I can't drink.
But unfortunately, we're showing we're not able to as a group.
Okay, on
we
Friday
can't
night,
drink responsibly.
On
Most
Friday
of us
night
can,
at the
but not all of us.
Padres game, we were sitting in our seats. 8th inning comes around. We're like thinking about leaving, but this drunk guy who wasn't sitting there comes and sits next to us and the people in our section,
right?
And was just being so annoying and just being like, "Let's go!" Just screaming. And then we're like, all this, and he even turns around and he's like doing the sway thing, like, "Am I bothering you guys?" And no one said anything, but I just left.
You are. Yeah,
I just left.
Yeah, you are completely bothering us.
I don't get that. I don't get why you have to get so drunk at games.
Yeah, it's fair for the people who say, hey, you guys, don't like to have a beer, you don't drink, but we like to have a beer. I get it.
You can.
You're right.
Tell all those other people.
You have right. Those people are wrecking it for you, not me.
Not me either.
Yeah, it's getting bad, and the Beth page was pathetic, but it's not the only example of this stuff.
No.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I asked for the chat, hey, everybody, give me your best drunk fan at a football game story, I bet you most of you have one.
Oh yeah. You can say concert, you could say movie theater, you can say anything these days.
I mean, I should I compare it? No. Somebody will look at it and go, oh no, you're being an idiot.
Kyle says, how about just lowering the bar for removal from the venue?
Yeah, but they're having, how many more people security are you gonna hire to keep up with all the things that are going on?
I don't know. It really kind of.
I went to a Raider game one time, and there were so many fights in the stands. You saw the yellow jacket security people. They were
standing there waiting.
They were cut too thin. They couldn't stop them all.
That's scary, kind of. I mean, you get a mob fighting. I've seen those videos of like European soccer where
I know.
people get
I hope
crazy.
this something like that never happens. I don't know. There has to be some accountability from the fans, and unfortunately, all of us are the fans because we can't control what everyone does. If somebody has a better answer, I'd like to hear it.
August says 2 middle-aged guys at Petco when Detroit was in town. Was that a couple years ago? And they yelled the whole game, Los Tigres, about every 3 minutes, which is certainly annoying. It would have
been worse if they would have started doing the Macarena up there or something. Los Tigres. Anyway, bad line. Not the first time that's happened. More Gwynn and Chris coming up.
Ben and Woods.
time for our good, bad, and ugly. Week number 4 in the books for the National Football League. Scraby wanted me to remind everybody before we get started that this hour, 97.3 The Fan, brought to you by Staples. Yeah, they have that. Your local Staples also has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Right now at Staples, save up to $125. All of that off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. It ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. Scraby, let's check a little traffic, and then I want to hear some good, solid NFL music.
Traffic.
Oh, no. It's not there. It's not there. The traffic's not there.
Can you fix your camera real quick?
I will while you try to find the traffic.
You can watch us on YouTube. Search 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah.
It's not ready yet, so we're going to have to do it in the middle or something.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here we go, Chris.
There we go. The National Football League.
Rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling.
Yeah, the whole thing. We are coming up on the Monday night game between Denver and Cincinnati. Coverage starts in about a half an hour. But here's the good from week 4. Start with Eagles. Battle of Unbeatens. The Super Bowl champs blocked a field goal for a touchdown for the second week in a row. It's kind of a good thing they did. Philly did not. Did you hear this, Grave? Jalen Hurts, second half yesterday, 0 for 8, no yards.
That is crazy.
That is crazy for an NFL team. But Philadelphia beat Tampa Bay in a battle of unbeatens. And it was the fake tush push.
This is a brilliant play.
I loved it.
Oh, they took it up. Saquon Barkley, they fool everyone. He walks in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Maybe that was why the play call was a little bit longer. It's like he was getting a few extra words out of his mouth.
Tom Brady thought he sensed something there, but, it was the tush push. But finally, they did something off the tush push and handed off to Barkley, and he walked into the end zone.
Walked in.
Now that they're doing that,
you got so much to think about.
It.
Would you rather be a defense trying to defend that or be a hitter wondering if a fastball or a changeup
I'd rather
is coming?
be waiting for the fastball. The tush push is unstoppable, and the Eagles are 4-0. Buffalo.
The last thing, Jalen Hurts he obviously played 4 games this year. He's only passed for over 200 yards once this season.
Well, remember last year he was not even in the 2,000-yard club.
That's crazy.
But he gets it done. All right, Buffalo got it done. 31-19 over the Saints. The Bills are the only other unbeaten team left at 4-0, despite another lackluster performance. Look at it this way. Buffalo has 4 wins this season. 3 of them are over teams that haven't won a game yet.
Oh.
Including the Saints, who actually made it close.
Shaheed back to Olave, throwing to Rattler, picked off! Cole Bishop on the return and knocked out of bounds.
That interception saved the game for the Bills.
It did.
Chris Olave was running the Saints special.
Yeah,
It was the same play the Eagles ran in the Super Bowl where you ended up throwing it to the quarterback, but Buffalo intercepted and hung on for the victory because I think it was only a 2-point game when that play happened.
It was close, yes.
Yeah, Chris Olave trying to throw the TD there.
I get it. You're the Saints. You have nothing to lose, but you were close enough to actually run a real play.
You do have Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, give him the ball.
All right. Kansas City over Baltimore, 37-20. Sorry to all of those who wanted to toss dirt on the grave of the Chiefs. They looked pretty good yesterday. Mahomes, 4 touchdown passes, including this one.
Rolling out, flinging it. Pacheco finds his way to the end zone and a Kansas City touchdown. And Patrick Mahomes has just thrown his 250th career touchdown pass, the youngest to ever reach that milestone.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, Jim Nance. Mahomes and the Chiefs rolled here, and Lamar Jackson left early. Hamstring injury. They haven't given us an update on him today, by the way. People are waiting for one, but Baltimore's not giving one.
He is my fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, you need to know. Ravens are 1-3, and they've allowed more points than any other team in the NFL. The Ravens have.
Yeah. Long gone are the days of great Ravens defense.
All right.
And they're also very injured.
They are. That's part of it. But that's the good. Here's the bad. Sorry, Scrape.
All right, we're going to re-talk about this, and I'm going to be nice.
All right, we'll talk about this. We're not going to get into the whole thing with Liam Cohen.
I thought that's what we were
we'll
gonna
leave
do.
it alone. If you want to read about Robert Saleh's comments, go find them.
I would like to say that the article that I read was false reporting.
Yes, you saw
From,
one.
I'm even going to call him out, the Sporting News.
Yeah.
Had it that Robert Saleh was the one yelling everything,
Right.
and had
I was
no
calling
Liam
your
Cohen.
attention to something that was in another article.
Yes.
that was a little.
Okay, let me just say this, Chris. Do I like that someone tells someone they're going to mess up their life? No,
that was
I
really
don't.
harsh.
I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. I like to act like you've been there before, but
also,
Saleh didn't say anything bad about them.
And he also just lost the football game. So he was in a mood after the 49ers lost the turnover battle 4-0, gave up a punt return touchdown. And here it is that helped pave the way for a Jags upset.
50-yard punt sends Parker Washington back. He's got a punt return touchdown in his career, and he's got an alley, and he might have his second. 96 yards last year against the Patriots. He's going to house this one. And the Jaguars get the score in special teams, 87 yards.
49ers really dominated the game, but you can't turn it over 4-0 and give up a punt return.
No, you can't. And Brock Purdy's toes hurt.
Yeah, he's questionable for the Thursday night game against the Rams. So it's a bad night for the previously unbeaten, bad day for the Niners.
Last thing, the punter on that play for the 49ers, I was impressed because he almost chased this dude
Gave it
down.
a shot.
And they clocked him on the next-gen stats. The punter was running 20 miles an hour, which is like one of the fastest players on the field in that moment.
Well, maybe
didn't get him, but
maybe
still.
Shanahan needs to put the old fake punt play in next week.
Ooh.
Also in the bad category is the Colts. They lost their first game in LA to the Rams, and I'm sure you saw this play. I mean, I'm so tired of this play.
Oh,
I mean, you got to stop doing
Was
this.
it Mitchell?
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell racing down the sidelines for a 75-yard touchdown pass, reaches the ball up to celebrate and fumbles it at the goal line. Didn't he learn? His teammate Jonathan Taylor did the same thing last year.
He didn't let it go too early either. He just lost the handle on the football.
I don't know. These guys I mean, you've got to be kidding me with this happening.
It was a touchback.
Yeah, right. You lose it all. Rams end up winning it all on an 88-yard pass that Tutu Atwell hung on to.
Oops, sorry. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Tutu Atwell hung on to.
Go, Tutu.
Trying to start one here, and he's got Atwell all alone. Tutu Atwell, and it's 2-2 goodbye. One play, 88 yards.
I might have gone 2-2 to the house.
Oh, here we go.
But anyway, the Rams beat the Colts.
Did he go
27-20.
2-2 on the way to the end?
He could have. We don't know. Rams and Niners play Thursday night up in LA. Both teams are 3-1. And speaking of 3-1, the Chargers fall into the bad category. Come on. You knew this was happening. It's the Chargers, people. Jim Harbaugh doesn't matter. Justin Herbert, they can't be beat. Best defense. They do have an injured offensive line, though, and that was a problem yesterday. Herbert was getting sacked and running around, but still shouldn't lose to a rookie making his first start.
They enter the backfield with a four-man rush into Herbert. Batted down, picked off. Look who's got it. The big man, Lawrence. The quarterback can't get him. Inside the 5. Interception. Giants goal to go.
Sexy Dexy.
That was the D lineman.
Yeah,
picked
Dexter
that one
Lawrence.
off. Great play.
It was.
Really a great play. Herbert barely completed half his passes through 2 interceptions. And Dart, no mistakes, no fumbles, no picks. Scored a touchdown. That's a pretty good start for him.
Yeah.
21-18, G-Man.
Although his first, and he's not going to care, but his first ever passing touchdown is a little flick forward to the tight end.
Yeah, those whatever.
I know we've talked about it.
We've talked
Should it be
about
a
changing the
passing
rule
touchdown?
on that, but
Yeah.
they're not going to do it. All right, that was bad for the Chargers, to be sure. We also lost some people in our survivor pool on that one, including Tony Gwynn Jr., by the way.
Yeah.
On to the ugly we go. And I know the score was 40-40, but ties are still ugly.
They are.
It was the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. The Pack and the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys won the only other overtime game this year, 40-37 over the Giants. This was the second overtime game of the year.
And they scored 40 points.
And it was 40-40 this time.
Wow.
George Pickens had a big one for Dallas.
Dropping a lot of safeties in. There are going to be some chances down the field.
That got rid of it. Here's Pickens inside the 10. Pickens to the goal line. He's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, Mike Tirico pretty pleased with that. Romeo Doubs had 3 TDs for the Pack.
Thank goodness I was not playing against him.
Nah, he's on my bench, unfortunately, this week, and he'd probably stay there, too. It was really a bad night, I thought, for Micah Parsons. So they kept showing him over and over and over again.
They made it all about him.
They made it all about him. He had 3 tackles, 1 sack for 0 yardage, so it was barely even a sack. And his defense was just destroyed.
Yeah.
436 yards, 5 touchdowns. Green Bay didn't force a turnover. It was a bad day all the way around. The Pack was lucky to get a tie, 40-40.
When you're done, I want to play something that Jerry Jones said after the game, because I think he may not be too far off.
Jared?
Yeah,
All right.
Jerry Jones.
We'll finish up the ugly, though. Number 2 on the list, the Titans. Are you serious? 26 rock at the hands of the previously winless Texans. Cam Ward, 10 for 26. That's hard to do, even if you're a rookie quarterback in the NFL. Only 175 yards of offense. I think Cam Ward said, keeping it real. Can I say ASS? No. He said, okay, here's what he said. Keeping it real, we... And then, yeah,
you could say it.
Yeah, we ass. That's what Cam Ward said about his own team.
All right.
Yeah, he's pretty right, I must say.
He is. He's not wrong.
26-0.
Do you think Brian Schottenheimer's just waiting until he gets fired?
What, in Dallas?
I'm sorry. Who's the
Tennessee? I don't know who the guy is.
No, he's a former head coach. Callahan.
He got into it with a writer yesterday. Writer asked a leading question, something to do with the fact that Callahan said we're going to be a tough team. We're going to stay in there and fight for 60 minutes or something. And this reporter goes, does your team look like a team that's fighting for 60 minutes? Callahan said, I know what you're trying to do there, but I'm going to compose myself before I say something I shouldn't.
He's learning because he went off last year.
He was ticked off. Finally, in the ugly category, I had to put this in for fun, but the Dolphins and Jets are playing right now. I don't know what's happening, but I'm sure it's ugly. The first Monday night game.
I'm going to check, but I'm not going to give you any
winless teams.
I'm just not going to give you any indication.
Thank you. Dolphins have already been outscored by 41 points this season, and neither of these two teams has yet to force a turnover.
Although I will say their black uniforms.
That's what Tony said. Tony
really good.
Tony wrote me a note. He said, I don't know how your team's going to play tonight, but your unis look great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the new Dolphin black. What are they? The rivalry uniforms.
Yes, they look really cool.
All right. That's good. All right. There's our good, bad, and ugly for week 4. And good job. Thank you, Scraby, putting all that highlight stuff together there. Now, what did Jared have to say?
Let's talk about Jared Jones. Because obviously he was asked about Micah Parsons last night. And this is what he told reporters after the game. And I don't know that he's too far off, but here is Jared.
It's very simple. Right. Dak was indispensable in my mind. Right. And so, yes. And Micah wasn't.
So he said Dak was indispensable in my mind and Micah wasn't. And I don't think he's that far off.
Also, you can say whatever negatives you want about Dak, and he deserves a lot of the negatives. Yeah, he was really good last night. I'm sorry. That's a good defense, and he carved them up with no problem without his best receiver.
Yeah.
So he played a great game. Like I said, I thought the Packers were a little lucky to get a tie out of that. 40-40. Dallas has had a 40-37 game and a 40-40 game. And I believe I read today that Dallas is number 1 in yardage and number 32 last in yardage allowed this year. So,
wow, that is
yeah.
Wow, you're not going to win many games.
They're certainly
like that.
missing Micah Parsons on that defense to a certain extent.
The ties are always so weird because as they're walking off the field,
They don't know
players
what to
have
do.
no idea.
Nobody knows what to do. The
Like,
coach doesn't know what to do, and nobody wants a tie. But did you see the very end? The Packers threw a pass into the end zone. And, I mean, that was the hometown clock.
Yeah.
Somehow it stopped with 1 second.
I have
All they had to
no
do was
idea.
let that run for another tick, and the game would have been over.
I have no idea how that happened.
No kidding. And they didn't really show it. You know,
It was
like
very quickly moved. They moved on from it very quick.
If I was the Dallas clock guy, I might have been a little slower on that move there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
although I think the NFL puts its own people in for
do.
clock.
They do.
You can't just have like Joe from the Dallas liquor store to come down and run the clock.
That would be really. Oh, yep. I think game's over.
We win. Yeah, but the Packers were lucky. There was 1 second left to kick that tying field goal. Last NFL story, because you'll probably hear about it. Ben Johnson, Bears coach, halftime interview with the sideline reporter.
I have it right here if you want to hear it.
Kinkabala.
Yeah.
You have the interview?
I do.
All right, let's hear what happened. Ben Johnson apologized for this today.
Your offense has struggled to take advantage of those takeaways.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you tell them to get things going?
That it wasn't our brand of football. We're capable of a lot more, and so we're hitting the reset button here at halftime, and we're going to come back and establish our identity here in the second half.
So you need to change what you're doing.
I don't know. You think so? We're going to do just fine.
Thank you.
Awkward.
A little awkward. It wasn't as bad as I thought, though. I mean, you could almost say he was just kidding around a little bit.
You didn't see his look.
Okay, so he gave
his
a
look was like,
okay,
yeah,
like
you think
threatening.
So?
Yeah, okay, a threatening look. Ben
not
Johnson,
a threatening look, but a stern look.
Okay, well, he apologized, said, "I'll do better." In the moment, I didn't really think much of it, but I was in game mode. Here's my only defense for Ben Johnson: these interviews got to go away.
They're pretty
They
stupid.
just waste everyone's time, and no coach losing a football game wants to do them. And on top of that, no sideline reporter wants to do them either.
Yeah, it's true.
So stop it.
It's true.
We don't need to hear from the coach. We don't even want to. All right.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah, all right. We got a quick segment to finish up, and then it's on to Monday Night Football. Gwynn and Chris. here on Gwynn and Chris, although it's only the happy 10 minutes today. We're getting ready to send you to the Monday Nighter between the Bengals and the Broncos. The happy 10 minutes today, though, brought to you by GL Pool, swimming pool experts, trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. And the Padres firing their way into the postseason. This is the old read. Sorry, Scrape. So I'm doing my best.
No, this is a me problem.
That's okay. Anyway,
Chris is actually being nice to me because I've been so crazy
you've been
today.
in the mood today. Anyway, we love GL Pools. I've been doing it since
I got it.
2006. You want to read it right? Just so they're happy.
Yes, of course.
We like to keep them happy.
Yes, and they've been great to us all season long. Happy Hour is brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. Padres are still going strong this season, and your pool should be too. Don't let algae or broken equipment bench your backyard fun. Call GL Pools and mention radio for a free month of pool service.
Yeah, that's a good deal right there.
It is.
All right. Don't forget, tomorrow you're on your own, but Game 2 Wednesday, Ben and Woods, Braden show, our show, watch party. It's at Park 101 in Carlsbad. Game 2 that gets underway at noon on Wednesday. So make sure you're there with us. Park 101, bi-level sports bar with roof, top, deck, and huge screens. North County's best barbecue, craft cocktails, and we're going to be giving away autographed baseballs, all presented by Estrella Jalisco Light Mexican Lager. Wednesday, Park 101. It's at 3040 Carlsbad Boulevard in Carlsbad Village. I don't even know if you have to give addresses anymore, right? You do, but people can just type in Park 101, and then they'll get the directions right to it.
Yeah, you know what? You can, but in this case, in cases like this, I personally do like to have the address.
Like to have the actual
just so I can throw it in there and know I'm actually going to the right location.
Okay. Well, we're going to be there tomorrow. Like I said, we're on after the game, Scraby and I. Tony will be with us from Chicago after the game tomorrow. Post-game show. There's no way I can go into this series, Padres Cubs, without thinking back 41 years. I can't even believe it's been 41 years.
It's been a while since I got to use share.
41 years ago. Man, I remember it like it's really not that long ago. But the Padres made their first ever trip to the postseason. And wouldn't you know, it was Wrigley Field for Game 1 of the 1984 National League Championship Series. The game was played on October 2nd, 1984. It was 65 degrees at start of the game. Field conditions were unknown, according to Baseball Reference.
It doesn't know.
They didn't know.
Okay.
But it was the longest day maybe in Padres history. Alan Wiggins led off. He flied to center. Some guy named Tony Gwynn came up. He lined out and would end up going 0 for 4 in his very first playoff game. Steve Garvey struck out. And then in the bottom of the first, Eric Shaw took the mound, and Bob Dernier on the second pitch of the game for the Cubs homered. And it was all downhill from there. Gary Matthews hit 2 homers for the Cubs. Ron Say, the Penguin, hit a homer for the Cubs.
That name.
You did. He kind of waddled around the bases like the Penguin.
Okay.
Thus the name.
All right.
And Rick Sutcliffe, our guy Sut, also homered for the Cubs. Yes, the pitcher.
I didn't want to be an idiot and say the pitcher.
Yeah, he homered as well. He pitched 7 innings. Sutcliffe did, allowed 2 hits. Final score, nothing to remember, people. Cubs 13, Padres nothing. That was the very first playoff game in Padre history. The Cubs would win Game 2 the following day, although a little closer game, 4-2. But, of course, the story would have a happy ending. So they'd come back to San Diego, where the Padres would take Game 3, 7-1. Thanks to the Garv, they'd take Game 4, 7-5. And, of course, they win the finale 6-3, beating Sutcliffe, rallying from a 3-0 deficit. Tony's dad had the big hit in the middle of the game-winning rally. A screaming ground ball that bounced past the ear and glove of Ryne Sandberg, scoring Alan Wiggins with the go-ahead run. 6-3 Padres. The Goose got the final out, and the Padres went to the World Series. And the big thing, I don't know if you can call this up, Scrabe, and maybe I just was thinking of this today. I only see if there's even a picture. But the big movie in 1984 was called Ghostbusters. You remember that movie, right?
Are you acting like I've never? This is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
You probably didn't know it was 1984.
I knew it was in the 80s, but not 84.
Okay, 1984. That was a big movie. Well, I want you to type in Google or whatever, Cub Busters. These T-shirts, and then go to images. These T-shirts were everywhere that week in San Diego. The Cub Buster T-shirts.
Also, apparently someone on Etsy is trying to sell these right now.
I bet. Yeah, they look pretty good for 1984 graphics.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not that bad.
No.
So anyway, maybe we should all find our way to get a couple of Cub Buster T-shirts out for the series this week.
Oh, how cute is this, Chris? I just found a Chicago version that says Padre Busters.
Nah, no good. Nah, that's a copycat.
Get your own.
Get your own. The Cub Busters was the big thing in 1984. So
that is cool.
Yeah, not bad. Anyway, that's what I remember about it. It was a great time to be a Padre fan. I do remember on the Sunday when they won at home. It was a day game, obviously, down at the old Murph. And for the rest of the day, long into the night, what I remember is everyone driving around the city honking their horns. Just endlessly all night long. There was no stupid celebration. There was no people falling off light poles. There were no fights. There was nobody beat up. There was no looting. There was just a bunch of people in San Diego having the time of their lives. And let's hope that we get something like that again.
I remember in 2022 when they beat the Dodgers, it was a similar feeling downtown. Like there was no one sleeping. It was just honking. It was cheering. It was fun.
Well, we're on the verge of hopefully something like that happening this October. It all starts tomorrow. You don't know where it's going to go. But as I've said, and I'll stick with this, it's fun to be a part of this for the fourth time in 6 years, second year in a row. There's never been a sustained run of success like this in Padre history. And, you know, before you think, well, we're cursed and we can't win and all that, remember who you're playing. You're playing the ultimate cursed franchise in the Chicago Cubs. Despite their one World Series, that was 9 years ago, and believe me, that's worn off now in the minds of Cub fans.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. All right, Scrabe, good work. Thanks, Sammy Levitt and Tony there, of course, in Chicago. Thanks, all of you. Stay tuned. Football's next. But back to baseball tomorrow. Game 1 of the playoffs starts shortly after noon. Sammy Levitt's pregame show at 11. And then the game. Then after the game, Sam will post-game it. And then Scraby and I will be here tomorrow afternoon to wrap up what we hope is a Game 1 win. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. 97.3 The Fan.